Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum, and welcome to our next episode of our franchise live. What
Franchise Live.
any guesses on what we're talking about?
Oh no.
Yeah, so tonight we're going to be talking all things Nightmare on Elm Street. I am joined by three of the four folks from Horrorfiend TV, none of which are strangers to my channel. They have all been here before. JR, you want to talk a little bit about what you guys do over there?
Yeah, well, Horrorfiend TV, we started like 2 years ago. And, it actually started in the basement of my house with myself, Rick, and, Lindsay. And yeah, we decided, we have a passion for horror. So we're like, hey, let's do some movie reviews. So we started Three Corners of Horror, which is basically our landmark show. And it's every Tuesdays at 8 o'clock on Horrorfiend TV. And yeah, we started building on it, and once we started gaining steam, Joel came on board. We really started taking off, so we decided to start branching off and do a little bit more. So we have shows on Sundays at 8 o'clock. We have shows on Thursdays at 8 o'clock. Myself, international, found footage, Rick, 70s, 80s slashers, Joe, psychology movies that F them up, he likes to talk about.
Yeah.
And our newest member is Lexi, which, as you could tell, she really likes Jason, but she's
How do you say that?
but Lexi's our fourth corner, and her show just debuted last week, so we're off to a good start. Yeah, we have a lot more horror stuff coming your way, and Angel, you're always part of the channel too. So we're glad we were able to connect, and yeah, let's keep this tougher horror keep going. Who doesn't love horror? It's the best genre out there.
That's right. And all the links for Horrorfiend TV are in the description for this episode. If you're not already following them and you're not subscribed to their channel, you should remedy that. It's in the description. Yeah. So, disclaimer. A lot of these films were first watches for me. I am not a major Freddy fan. And so a lot of these is going to be interesting to hear you guys talk, because a lot of, y'all are a little more familiar with the franchise than I am, but a lot of these were first watches. So, and yeah, so the first thing we're going to do is just like the ones before, we're going to start with our rankings. We're going to go JR, Lexi, and then Rick, and then I'll do mine last. So JR, you want to go first with the rankings?
All right. So bottom of the barrel, I have Nightmare on Elm Street, 6, The Final Nightmare, because it wasn't the final nightmare, so we were lied to. Then I have Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Didn't care much for it. Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake, because we'll talk about it later.
You watched the remake? Oh, bro.
We'll talk about it later. Nightmare on Elm Street, The Dream Child. And then next is the Nightmare on Elm Street, The New Nightmare, which is, I have my reasons for it. Freddy versus Jason at number 4. At number 3, I got Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. I have my reasons. Number 2, come on, who does not love the Dream Warriors? And number 1, I got the original, because I am a sucker for the original, because that's what starts everything off. That's my list.
All right. Woof. Okay. I think I'm going to be alone on one of these. I can't wait. All right. Lexi, what's your rankings?
So obviously, I'm a huge Freddy fan.
Clearly. Did you show your cup yet? Show your cup.
They're full of wine, not blood, I promise. But as far as my rankings, now, maybe it's a whole me and JR thing. We look at the story of things. And my worst of the worst is The New Nightmare. I didn't like it. I don't know what it was about it, but to go from, the 1 through 6 to, the beginning to the final nightmare, I just, like JR said, it wasn't the final nightmare. So I'm like, wait, what? But the next would be Freddy versus Jason's series. I know, and I have my reasons.
Y'all all got a lot of reasons.
I hope we get into all these reasons.
Yes, I am maybe it's a me and my mom thing. She's a Jason fan. I'm a Freddy fan, so we have this bicker. But there's a reason, for Freddy versus Jason. For that, I actually didn't see the remake because I was disappointed in the original. The next one would be The Final Nightmare. Then I would go. Man, I'm gonna go with Freddy's Revenge because I don't know. I really liked. I'll get to that actually, but Freddy's Revenge would be next.
She has her reasons.
Yes. I'm trying to get through it quickly. Next would be Master, the Dream Master, number 4, number 5, Child. I really liked. The original, number 2, and then number 1 would be the Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dream Warriors getting some love.
I was gonna say one of our first comments is love Dream Warriors.
Oh, yeah, it's the best one.
New Nightmare was a mature film.
Yeah. Good
And
call.
Hate
Good shout.
Freddy's dead. That one's gonna I feel you on that one.
Daniel Garcia,
I
look.
forgot about that
That's
one.
the AEW wrestler.
Yeah. All right, Rick, what's your rank?
My turn. All right, we're going to go 10 to 1. Wait, not 10. Jesus Christ. I'm thinking about
9.
our 10 top list.
Oh, you won't.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Now, full disclosure, I did not watch the remake. I refused to. I didn't want to even go anywhere near it. So that's not on this list at all. Just to
Totally
keep that
fine.
in mind. Keep that
Yep.
in mind. All right, the last one is Freddy's Dead. Freddy's Dead. He ain't dead. At that point in the series, I think they've been jumped the shark a long time ago. So by the time they got to that one, I think, I think it was time to kill that franchise and restart it. They tried, they failed, unfortunately. But above that one's gonna be the Dream Child. I think this is where it really got fucking weird for me.
Yeah.
A lot of Freddy's best moments is more comical stuff at times. But this one was a little bit too, I don't know. Like JR and Lexi would say, we'll get into it later. But above that was the New Nightmare, the Wes Craven film. I'm not a big fan of 90s horror, guys. You know this.
Yes.
There's exceptions, obviously.
Yeah.
Ghostface, Scream. I think Scream entered a new era of 90s horror. That's when, all the better stuff started coming up. But early 90s to 94, 95... And but it is a more mature film, like the Daniel Garcia comment was, which that's one thing I will give it credit for. It was definitely, it wasn't about teenagers or anything like that necessarily. Now we're more with the adult characters, and I think that drove it apart from everything else, whether you like that or not. But overall, though, it's okay. It's okay. But Freddy vs. Jason will be next on my list for that. This is a Freddy episode. Freddy only killed one person in that movie.
Yeah.
That's
true.
So that's why it's slower. But I fucking love that film. It's so much fun. Man, the torpedoes. I love it. So yeah. I love that. Ronnie Yu, I think, is the director of that one. But we're gonna go to Dream Master now. Dream Master is the movie starts off, man. They killed all the best characters from the prior film, Dream Warriors. Immediately. And a lot of John Saxon. That's always a plus. Great gore effects on this one, a lot of good kills on it. So that one kind of it's hovering around there. And above that will be Freddy's Revenge Part 2. I think this one is, I don't want to say underrated. I think it's underappreciated.
It is.
It gets a little weird at the end though. I don't like when Freddy comes out. He's chasing teenagers on the pool and stuff. That was,
You're all my children.
yeah, that was bad. But it's different because it's not a Scream Queen. It's an actual male character here.
Yeah, it is.
And I love the fact that, and people don't like the fact that Freddy is using him as a vessel to come out. I thought that was cool too. It's different. It's that one's up there. The next two, this was I bounced around a lot on this one only because JR knows my favorite film. But I gotta put number 2. I have to do it. It's the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's I agree.
I think to me it's probably the best film I want to say, but. If you look at this film, Freddy barely talks in this movie. And they don't even call him Freddy, because he's Fred Krueger in this film.
Yep, you're right.
And it's very... And I just saw this one last night again, because I had to watch it just for that refresher for the original, man. It's so good because it's so dark. The soundtrack has got that 80s rock horror Return of the Living Dead vibe, but a much darker tone to it, and the pulsating music, especially when like Johnny Depp, when he got killed, like that bass, that boom, it just ramps up.
Yeah.
And I loved it. But of course, because this one is number 2, Dream Warriors is number 1
Love
because
that.
it's the best of everything. It's dark. It's the teenagers feel like teenagers. They're not like over sexualized or nothing like that. They feel like real people.
They're not 25-year-olds playing 16-year-olds.
Yes, exactly.
Totally agree. Yes.
Exactly, and they bring back
Totally agree.
Nancy, and they got I forgot the other actor, and he was like Bill Maher. I don't know who he is,
He does look.
but I love him and John Saxon's character. I love when they get together.
Oh yeah.
I love those scenes a lot. Of course, come on, who loves the kills in this movie are legendary, man. The puppet master scene. It got corny ones. The wizard one was corny, but it's Freddy Krueger. You get the good with the bad. Yeah, but Dream Warriors is to me the most replay value, if to put it that way. So it's a lot of fun. It's Freddy at his best with his one-liners, and he became more of a character, and he was funny, but he was still scary. So I think Dream Warriors, damn, number 1. I don't think that's
awesome.
going to change for a while.
Yeah. I've got a couple comments I'm gonna do real quick. Loathe Super Freddy in part 5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When he bulked up.
Bulks up.
Yes.
The Dream Child feels disjointed. Yep. Oh, and then some 90s favorites.
Candyman.
And
That's good. Candyman's good.
Dr. Giggles. I haven't seen Dr. Giggles.
Dr. Giggles is pretty good.
Dr. Giggles is good, bro.
Yeah.
It's cheesy, but it's good.
You know,
It's
and
good.
then and Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
Then
No,
The View with Drew. Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Thanks for coming by.
Hi.
what up?
Yeah, so no one is allowed to leave this video after I give my rankings. Okay, deal?
Weird. You've been hyping me up all day.
Quite interesting because you just watched these
I did.
movies from.
And I'll tell you, okay, so the only ones, before I do my ranks real quick, the only ones I had already seen besides Freddy vs. Jason, I've seen that a ton of times. The remake, the original, and Dream Warriors, I think the only other one I had seen but really didn't remember that much was Freddy's Revenge. Otherwise, they were all new watches.
Good call.
Wow.
All right, so, okay. My last one is Freddy's Dead.
I think do we all have that as a last
Yeah.
one?
It wasn't good. It was too much. Like, I feel like I hated that one. A New Nightmare is my next one. I realized that this was like a very, I think mature is a great way to state it. It's very meta. It was so confusing though, because I had literally watched them all in a row. So to take me outside of that and put me into this other situation, I was like, why do they keep calling her Heather? I think I put that in our chat. I was like, why are they calling her that? And then I realized what the point of the movie was. I just couldn't get into it. It was one that it was just too much. I don't know. It was so different. It's such a different approach to the story that it just completely screwed me. Like I don't care about this at all. I will say though, I do think some of that we see again later in the creation of the Scream franchise. That meta, that just the way that story and that like the way that they did that from like an insider perspective, I think that was really unique. But I think we were how many movies in by that point? I just couldn't get connected to it.
It's a precursor to Scream.
Is my next one.
Which one?
Even though it's my next one, it was the most bizarre in a not good way of all of them.
Dream Child.
I was literally like, what the fuck am I watching? It was bizarre. My next one is Freddy vs. Jason. I mean, you know, it's fun. It's a super fun movie. I laugh so much every time I watch it. The next is Dream Master. My number 4 is the remake. Okay.
Oh, okay. Hey, you know what? I've never seen it, so I can't. No judging from me.
Yeah. So here's the short of it. It's not Robert Englund. We knew that before the movie comes out. I think anybody who went to see this expecting Robert Englund is just Dumb. That's not how it works when it's not
Yeah.
Robert Englund, right?
Right.
But so I'm going to steal this because Ken from Sledgehammer Horror said this. What it did do, though, is it made Freddy unsettling again because they leaned more into like the child pedophilia. It leaned more into he wasn't comical at all. There was no funny jokes, no sarcasm. It was these really weird, twisted one-liners instead of the funny ones. You know, like "Welcome to prime time, bitch." Like that's funny. That's not scary. But he there's like one where he says to one of the teenagers in the remake, he's like, "What are you screaming for? I haven't even cut you yet." And it's like these lines were just like, if someone said that to me in real life, I would be so scared. So that's my short defense of the remake. That's my number 4. My number 3, because I do think this was a great, one of the strongest sequels I think I've ever seen in a horror franchise. Freddy's Revenge. That one was really good. And then I'm going to follow the same pattern, I think, as Rick. My next one is the original, and then Dream Warriors is my number 1.
Oh, man, nice.
How I had it too. So.
Oh, yours was the same way?
Dream Warriors.
Okay.
Number 1 was Dream Warriors. 2 was
2 was the original.
the original.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
What was yours, Gio? Your number 1.
It was the original was my number
Was
1.
Dream Warriors number 2?
You can really go either way.
Dream Warriors number 2.
Okay.
Me,
we
yeah,
all
I
pretty
was
much
flipping
in
back
the
and
same-
forth.
I'm okay with
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess y'all. So 2 of us have seen the remake. 2 of us have not.
Correct.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to. keep
Wait,
that.
JR seen the remake. Look at his face.
Nah, no.
Oh, okay.
You haven't seen it?
No.
It's just me. I'm the only
No.
one.
I
that's-
haven't seen it.
I haven't seen
Well, I'll tell you about it when we talk about it.
No, if you haven't seen it, you don't get to have an opinion about it.
Well, I do get to have an opinion. At least
Me
one.
too.
Okay.
And it's a legitimate opinion.
I think me and JR know.
Oh, she got the blade in him. Shit.
Oh damn, that's a big blade. Man.
Make sure I don't go against her opinions.
I'm pretty
I'll
far
touch
away.
you.
I'm probably fine.
I'm for it too. Actually, raw for it.
Let's see. Freddy vs. Jason has a great soundtrack. The music
Yeah.
was another fun part of that one for sure.
What I will say about Freddy vs. Jason, it doesn't age as well as the other ones. It's got like that 2000 era rock music and the weird filters they use for the.
It was weird, yeah.
I don't like that. Whenever you introduce rock in any horror film, in my opinion, it immediately dates it. It just does. I don't like it.
Fair. That's fair. Oh, I missed this one. Finally showing. Did you block me, JR?
Cool pull.
For Freddy versus Jason, I watched it once and never again, and so
Watch it again. It's fun.
I think it's
fun.
the whole bicker between me and my mom. She's a Jason fan. I'm a Freddy fan. I get my head cut off at the end of it, so it's like
Well, no, you know what it is? It's when Freddy vs. Jason came out.
right.
Us horror fans, and we've done this plenty of times, where we imagine who would win in a fight. I mean, how many
So
times?
true.
Right,
So
exactly.
when we finally got to see it, it was fun to watch.
I agree
Because
with that.
unfortunately, I think Freddy and Jason were the only ones that were capable of pulling it off. If it was Freddy versus Michael Myers, it wouldn't have been good at all. I'll be honest, it wouldn't have been good at all.
I felt like
It
it
was
was
a
a
good
lot
match.
of cheap scenes as well. It was just, we come from a franchise from the 80s to 2000 that it just became cheesy at that point.
It was cheesy.
Remember, oh man. I was gonna say both franchises started getting cheesy in the '90s, so
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why I didn't see the remake, because I just didn't care for the first one.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But he winks at the end like he's not dead. Just
Right,
I hear
exactly.
what you're saying, but like
Yeah.
it was like a draw. Like
He got the last laugh.
he got the laugh.
Of course he does.
That one's fun though. I love that Kelly Rowland is in that one.
Yeah, she did good. I liked her
She was
character.
fantastic.
She was. I liked.
She-
I think all the characters were pretty.
Were really
pretty good.
fun.
Yeah.
I had that fake Miles Teller looking motherfucker. Who was that dude?
Which one? Oh,
He was like Miles Teller. I forgot his name. The guy that was interested in Kelly Rowland's character.
oh yeah. I don't remember his name either. Yeah.
I had that fake Jay and Silent Bob guy. Fake Jay. The long blonde.
Jay. Yeah, because when they get really high, they see like the weird caterpillar Freddy or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh,
It's so
well-
weird but funny.
What was that like? This Everclear is kicking my ass. If you ever drank Everclear, that shit kicks your ass.
Yeah.
Yes. That's funny. Yeah, I think it is weird because like I knew enough about the franchise that like I knew that he eventually had a kid, but I didn't really remember the details of it. But that was like I really a lot of the middle stuff I had completely forgotten about. So
Mm-hmm.
I got into which one? Dream Child? That's the one with the kid?
Yeah.
No, Freddy's Dead.
Yeah, yeah. Dream Child was where it started falling off for me.
Yeah,
Well,
so
That's
that was
five,
when it,
right?
The Dream Child was one where he wanted to have a kid, and then have that scene. It's a boy.
that's right. But
I
then
will
the
say,
next one,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
but the next one is the one where we meet his daughter, right? Freddy's Dead.
Yeah, to have some
Yes.
connection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure I'm not mixing them up. That is one downside to watching things all in one swoop as a first watch. They get mixed up when you watch
Yeah,
them.
it's like binge watching a TV show. You know, you don't know which. Wait,
Yeah.
what did I watch last time?
It just feels like one endless movie that you can just talk about all the parts in. Yeah.
Mhm. Right, exactly. It
yeah,
just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah. But that one was the one that was one of the worst. That was like, that one killed me because I was like, you know, they lead you into thinking, oh, it's that guy. And then it's like, oh, no, it's the girl. And I don't know. Like, I think sometimes they overcomplicate storylines with killers, right? Like they did the same thing in Scream, in my opinion. We don't need killer daughters. Like we're good. We don't need those. Stop doing that. I didn't need it in this, and I don't need it in, you know, the other one. But like that was the thing where I was like, now I know why we got that in Scream. Now I know why I have to suffer through these movies with this concept of a serial killer's daughter. I hated that concept so much.
Well, I think what the problem is too is when they started getting towards the middle, they decide, oh, let's do more background, let's do more backstory on Freddy. You
Right.
don't need that. Once you have the first two films, you don't
I
need
agree
no
with
more
that.
backstory.
Totally agree.
Because they explain it in every single film. So why give a whole movie dedicated to the background when you explain it in every, like the parents that, you know, their children are dying and they're the responsible one of burning Freddy. They explain that in every single film from
Everyone.
beginning to the very end. So there was no need for a whole film to be dedicated to the background.
Yeah,
That's why it was scored very low for me.
I totally agree. Well, and even in Freddy versus Jason, they do it again. They retell the whole
Exactly.
thing. They thought they could get rid of me, and it's like this whole
Right.
thing. They're just like, shut up.
Like,
We've
really?
seen the other ones.
Right. I feel like we didn't need these many Freddys.
Well,
And
what
I'm a big
happened was
Freddy.
they kept making money until they didn't anymore, and that's it.
Well,
Yeah.
these are the dates the movie actually came out. If you guys are interested,
One a year, basically.
yeah, because Nightmare on Elm Street the original came out '84. Part two
Yeah.
came
Mind
out-
you, I'm sorry, Joe, one sec. Mind you, before you get into that, by the time Freddy really took off, the Friday the 13th franchise was already like in its past its prime already.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah,
That's
you're
crazy.
right.
Yeah, because you had the first one is '84. Part two came out in '85.
Mhm.
Then it came out. '86 they took a break. '87 Dream Warriors came out, and then what was it? Sorry, I have it here. '88 the Dream Master. '89 came out. Fuck, I had it here. '89 the Dream Child. And
So
then they took a-
unprofessional.
Yeah, it's just you know what? It's to the point that they were just pushing them out as much as they can, knowing it was getting stale, and they just didn't care because the Freddy character was an awesome character, but it was like four films you did not need at all, but they
Yeah.
were so
Too
desperate
many.
to continue.
And it,
Come on,
and it
man.
would have left it a stronger franchise overall,
Mhm.
which probably could have led us down different paths with the remake and the Freddy versus Jason. Probably would have gone different. I'm gonna do a few comments really quick before I get too behind on them, because then I feel like I leave people out and I feel bad. Okay. I did like the wink. Me too. I was like mad about it, but I was like, huh, that's funny. Selena, hello.
Hey.
Hey,
Hola, muchacha, ¿cómo está?
Freddy is one of my old-time favorites.
Yes.
A lot of people have a lot of love for this franchise in general, even with the duds. Like, obviously, Lexi, that's right.
Yes.
She still has a lot of love. It didn't affect her love for the others, so.
Well, even if the movie is a dud, though, like it's still Freddy. Freddy still has his moments. Even like
You're
in
right. No, you're right.
the Dream Child, I think one of my favorite scenes in that film was when that guy was on a motorcycle and he started turning it into like a machine.
That was Fantastic body horror.
Yes, body
So
horror. I
good.
was just gonna use that word.
That is so good.
That's
You're right.
body horror.
Yes.
And the fact that he's cutting all these like one-liners, like I forgot what they were. This, but a lot of like driving one like puns and shit. And the guy, it looks like the Terminator. His head's in the actual part of the motorcycle. That was great. And even in Dream Master, when he turned the girl into the cockroach.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that was
In the,
wild.
in the Roach Motel.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yes.
Because she was she had a fear of cockroaches, so he.
So it was,
Oh
like,
man.
even worse.
Again,
I was gonna
body
say-
horror. Once again, body horror. I mean, come
I
on.
was gonna say even you're right because even in the duds, some of my least favorite had some of the best body stuff.
Yeah.
Like and that that motorcycle scene was. I was not because again first.
That was
watch,
my
I
favorite
was
kill in
not
that film.
expecting that.
Yeah.
So good.
But then you got duds like with the guy he turned into like paper mache or something, like comic
that
guy.
comic book because he was reading comic
He
books.
cut him up. He turned to paper. That's how he killed him.
And then they did the video game thing where they were like,
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Which one was that? That was one of the later ones.
yeah,
Cougar at least
that's
killed
the
Alice.
one with the string child, right?
That probably was. Yeah, that's when it started getting really like fucking over the top.
Kruger at least killed Alice Cooper in part 6, although he should have killed Roseanne. When I was watching that one, I was like, is that Roseanne?
Roseanne Barr?
Yes, she's in the one where they go into the town and there's no
Final
kids
Nightmare.
there. The Freddy's, the one with the daughter. The one with the
Yeah.
daughter.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching the original, like I said. I didn't realize that Lynn Shay, you know her, Lexi, Lynn Shay. She's in that film.
I
Oh,
love her so
I love
much.
her so
I
much.
love her too. I love her too.
And
I
she's
was so happy when I saw her as a teacher. I was like, oh my god, I forgot
I
she's in this.
forgot. I
Yeah.
love her. I'm such a big fan of the Insidious franchise. I love her so much.
Me too.
So, and she and Robert Englund have done two or three other horror movies together, and I haven't seen them all yet.
Was it 1000 Maniacs? Was she in that one?
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence
Yeah,
I
Lawrence
forgot
Fishburne.
about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
He walked in and girls' heads in the freaking TV.
Like, nah.
That was
Also, my boy
I love
Clue,
that scene.
Clue Gallagher from Return of the Living Dead. He's in part 2, so he's in Freddy's Revenge. So
that's right.
yeah, there's a lot of the franchise has a lot of actors that you wouldn't like.
And
You-
That went on to be
Johnny Depp in the first one.
I know, because in the title things or in the opening credits, it's like
Yeah.
introducing Johnny
That's
Depp.
the funny part. Why would they say that for Johnny Depp? Like they knew what he was going to turn into, right? I thought
Isn't it weird? Like we were the
And it
first
said,
ones to do.
but it don't always work out. Terminator 2 said introducing Edward Furlong, and he didn't go nowhere. So.
That's fair.
I do find it interesting that Freddy's Revenge #2 was on our like low to mid list on all 4 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do
It's-
find that
yeah.
interesting.
That's a fascinating story if you really watch it. It's a lot of like gay undertones in this film.
Yes, it's very much a coming into accepting
Yeah.
homosexuality.
It's
100%.
funny because like the guy, like, there's so much like homosexuality in the windows in this film, and
Yep.
and the thing is, the actor who played what was his name? Jesse? What?
Jesse.
Yeah,
He came out as gay much later on, but they kind of knew he was, so they kind of wrote that into the script to almost humiliate him in a
interesting.
sense. Go back and watch the making, or not even the making, but just the story behind this film, and you'd be like, damn, that's pretty messed up, the way they treated this guy. But I think it made for a more fascinating film, in my opinion.
Actually, yeah. Now you think about it, because remember, it's like the monster that keeps trying to come out of him being Freddy.
Yeah, oh yeah. And that's, I mean, come on. Instead of like consulting his girlfriend, he goes to his best friend, the male guy. Like,
right.
there's a lot of that stuff in there. Like, yeah, it's in there.
Yeah, it's a lot of, and it's interesting because that was the one I had said like I'd seen before, but I didn't really remember, and I've heard other people talk about it, and that specifically
Yeah.
those themes within the movie. And when you go into it as a rewatch or whatever, thinking about that, you do notice a lot more of that shit than you do before you even think, because Freddy movies are Freddy movies. You don't
Upon
always-
first watch, you will notice.
But I
that.
do find it interesting that it became like for all 4 of us a low ranking to mid ranking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it has. I mean, it's not perfect. Like I mentioned, the end,
No.
like the last 20 minutes, I could do without. I think even Wes Craven wanted to change that because he was on board at
Yeah.
first. He read the script and he's like, "That's kind of goofy. There's no real dream stuff in this movie for one thing," and all of a sudden
It
you
was
pull
all in
Freddy out into the real world, and now he's chasing these teenagers, like I mentioned, in the pool. It's just it's a disconnect.
I did not like that whole
It has some
scene.
good
No.
kills though.
But the kills are dope. Like,
Yeah.
oh
He
my
does have
god.
good kills.
Because that scene where the actor's called, his name's Robert Rustler. He played Ron Grady, which was Jesse's kind of friend, enemy in school. And
The bestie that he goes to later.
Yeah, so he's in the room, and that's when Freddy comes out. And
Awesome scene.
That was good.
And Freddy doesn't even. I don't think he says a word during that scene, and he's fucking scary, bro.
And the thing too is, if you don't know who Robert Rustler is, he was actually in Weird Science. He played one of the bullies in Weird
Oh,
Science.
I love Weird Science. He was one of the bullies. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
dude.
right.
Oh my god, I didn't even
And
realize
then Robert
that.
Downey.
What was that? He pukes, you die.
Yeah.
Hold on. How's about a greasy pork sandwich dipped in a dirty ashtray?
And he was also in Stephen King. Sometimes They Come Back. He played the leader of the group.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Sometimes They Come Back. Very good Stephen King film.
I haven't
I'm
seen
not
that
as
one
into
either.
Stephen King as a lot of other people in our world.
Not Stephen Kinger.
From part 4, Alice is a great character. Alice, is Alice a carryover from 3?
Yeah, she was.
it's a different
They
actress?
recast it. She was recast.
Right.
Yeah, they got a
Yeah,
different
recast
actress.
it.
She didn't want to come back.
Yeah, which was hard at first, I will say, because I was like, wait a second, it's all the
Yeah,
same people except
I hate
for her.
when they do that shit.
But she did, but I will say, I think that she still did a pretty good job. Like, I still really, and I really liked the weird, what do you call it? Like the pulling people into the dreams. And I like that we got more, like that was one of the coolest parts of Warriors.
Well, her name was
They all
Kristen
have these
Parker.
abilities.
Is it Alice Parker or Kristen Parker? I thought it was Kristen.
Am I wrong? Am I switching it wrong? I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Wait, what was the question?
Kristen
Well,
Parker.
Kristen is the one that gives Alice her powers in the Dream Master.
That's what it
That's
was.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
That-
dies,
you're
and
not the same.
which
I
is
was so
ridiculous,
confused.
by
I
the
was like,
way.
wait a minute.
She
I was
gives her.
getting confused. I forgot about that. Yes.
Yeah,
you're right.
because remember when all of a sudden now when her friends all die, she gains their personalities and their abilities and
like
shit.
swallows it. Like it becomes.
I don't
like a
know how I
powder.
felt about that.
That was a little.
But that's when it's that's when
I
they
didn't
started.
like
That's when it starts going downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lynn Shay was also in Critters 2. I love Critters 2.
Hey, Leonardo DiCaprio was in that film too.
He
so-
was.
Ooh,
He
daddy.
was. Lynn Shay has done a ton of horror stuff, and
She's
it's interesting.
great, man. She's
I
great.
feel like so many people only know her from Insidious. They don't
Yes.
know
Oh no,
all
I
the
knew
other
her way
stuff
back
that
from
she's
Freddy.
done. She's done a lot.
I just
I didn't
forgot she
know-
was in it.
Yeah. I didn't know this. Brad Pitt auditioned for part 2,
Possible.
and Christian Slater also for part 2. He got Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. Loved it.
Yeah.
I'm glad he got that. He was great in that.
That was good. Yeah.
And Selena says always good kills.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
The kills make the movies bearable when they start.
even the
to
bad
feel
ones got a few, good ones.
I
In.
felt like Dream Warriors had the best kills. From Puppet Master to the TV, that was my favorite scene.
The TV is one of my favorites too.
Yeah, because the guy working there, he was just like, yeah, I guess I'll give you a few minutes by yourself with the TV, because he said it was time to go to bed.
Well, I would say part.
And that left her literally 5 minutes later.
Well, I would say part 3 had the most creative kills. Part 1 and 2 had the most brutal, realistic kills.
But you know what? I also like it because they had a backstory behind their power. Because think about it.
Yeah.
Like, besides Freddy haunting your dreams, you had real life reality there. Like, in my dreams,
Trauma.
like in real life, literally, I can fly in my dreams. Like, I can get up, go to the bathroom, come back, and continue where I left off. Like, we have different abilities in our dreams, like in real life. So
Yeah.
I like that they played real life scenarios. Like,
Oh yeah.
Kristen or Alice, I think it was Alice at the time. Alice could flip like gymnastics, and like they all had these different. Kincaid, he could, he was the
Oh, he's
strongest
super-
guy.
That was funny though because they all had these abilities and what can you
I
do?
like that.
She
though,
did a flip.
people, like, put him into play to try to beat Freddy.
It's-
That's why I love Dream Warrior.
I like you mentioned that because Wes Craven, how he came up with the concept was he had nightmares about like dying in his sleep, and he
Yeah.
also had nightmares of this old guy that kept looking at him through a window, and he put them both together. And Freddy Krueger, the name Freddy Krueger came from his high school bully was called Fred Krueger.
Oh.
So the
I didn't
trauma,
know that. That's
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So he brought all that, like that youth trauma and his youth nightmares. Just like James Cameron came up with Terminator during a fever dream. He was so sick with a fever. He dreamt the whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
Got up the next day, wrote this fucking script essentially. But yeah, that's how it came up. That's how it came to be. And if you ever hear Robert Englund talking about Freddy, it's so fascinating. Oh
Actually, the first movie on VHS. So I think I've said this already, or maybe I was saying this before we were recording or going. But I actually, because I hadn't seen any, I was thinking I wasn't worried about doing this live because I was like, they're all probably streaming somewhere. No.
They were.
I had a live
right before.
A couple months ago, HBO Max had all of them.
Yes.
All of
Yes.
them.
All of
And
them.
so when we agreed to do this and we had everybody set up and we knew the date and whatever, I was like, fuck, like, how am I going to watch these? Because I was not going to pay to see these. I just wasn't. And so I had tweeted and I was like, can I have, if I promise to be really careful with them and give you a label so you don't have to pay for shipping, is there anyone in the world that would be willing to let me borrow these films? And the guys from The Scariest Cut like sent them to me like next day.
Good show. All right.
Yeah.
Good
So
show.
I'm gonna have to send them back, but obviously. But I genuinely don't know how mad I would have been if I had to pay to watch them all because some of them are really bad. But
I ain't mad because I paid for all of them.
well, you did. Wait, why don't you
On
own
Amazon.
any of them?
I hope you went to the theater when you say that, right? Because you don't
You
know.
know, I think back when Freddy versus Jason, I went to the theater, and what a waste of time. But
I saw that.
I'm sorry.
Actually.
I just don't like Freddy versus Jason.
All right, Lexi, I remember that one. Lexi.
I'm sorry. It
all good.
bothers me. But
If you're a Jason fan, awesome. If you're a Freddy
am a
fan,
Jason fan. That's
I can
what's
see
cool.
where you would be. I'm more of a Jason fan, personally.
Yeah,
But
and see, I'm not really invested in either, but I wanted to see them just fight. I didn't really
Right,
care
exactly.
about
Because
the people.
you
The
wanna see
fight was
something
awesome,
monsters
though.
fight.
Come on.
It was so
So
stupid.
worth
I loved
it,
so
though.
much.
it's so
I mean,
worth
who
it.
else do you want to see fight? You know, Michael Myers versus Jason, or Michael Myers versus Fred. Like, you're right. We had that, mentality as children. Like, dang, who would win in a fight? Like when you bet your friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, but the way they did it was just so cheesy to me, and that's why I didn't like it, and that's why I never care to see the remake.
Selena says, just hearing his songs already had me on edge. It's really funny you'd say that. When I was setting up the things to share on my phone to say, oh, hey, we're live, I was reposting your story, Lexi. And I was going to add music. And then I was like, you had already added the music, but the version that you added is like creepy as hell. I was like, what version of the song is this? I was like,
The quiet one, two, Freddy's coming from.
it was
sound
so
way
creepy
creepier.
though. Whatever version.
That is a creepy song.
Whatever, it is a creepy song, but there's some versions of it that are creepier than others. And whatever one you picked, I was like, ugh, I don't like that.
So let me ask you guys a question, because this came to my attention, all three of you, when I rewatched the original. First of all, the opening, fucking fantastic. He's making the claws. You can hear him breathing and he's. So, Nancy's mom said the parents got together, burned Freddy. Freddy already had his claws as a human, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
That's always what I've understood.
I see. That's crazy because I never really thought about it until I saw it again. Like, oh, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. She has the claw. So in the beginning of the film, my question is, when he's making his claws, was he still? Because his hands are burnt, if I remember correctly, right? When he was making the claws and he saw him, because they don't show his face. You just see his hands.
His hands were had soot on it and stuff, like in the nails and stuff.
So because. So I want to know where that beginning took place. Was it when he was still alive, or when he was already as an entity? You know what I'm saying? Because if you go back and watch the beginning, when he's making the glove, his hands don't look normal. They look like Freddy's, charred hands. But then again, the mother said when they killed him, he already had the claw, and she had the claw. So
it wasn't something that came up in the dream, right?
Well, because remember,
said, oh my god, I wish I would have known that.
Remember in Dream Warriors, when they dig up his body had the claws.
Right.
They were attached to his
yes.
So when they burned him, he had the claws in there, because remember they had that whole Sinbad scene, the skeleton coming up and attacking everybody.
Oh, dude, I love that scene though.
Yes.
I thought you meant the rapper Sinbad. You meant Sinbad, like the rape. What is that? What's that guy who did the Jason and the Argonauts?
Yeah.
Now, do you guys feel like Nancy died too quick?
And which one? The
Nancy. Well, I mean, okay, so we get Nancy in the first one, obviously. What a great movie. But then we skip the a whole Nancy Crew scene, and then we kind of
Yep.
bring Nancy back.
Oh, you mean it's Dream Warriors?
Warriors.
Dream Warriors.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I'm talking specifically 1, 2, 3. Like, we get Nancy. I loved her character from the very beginning, but then we kind of skip and go into a different story with new set of casts, and then we go back to Dream Warriors, which was awesome. I loved the whole cast, but in adding Nancy, like watching that for the first time as a young kid, I was like, oh my god, she's back. You wanted that in the second one.
Yeah.
I think it's because they already knew where they were heading. And
I think
because
she's important.
they wanted to keep popping out franchises, so they want to keep keeping it fresh, adding new characters.
And it probably just didn't work out that they could have her for the second one. And I think I feel like
even further than 3. Like, I feel like.
But remember, every movie has a different director and writer, so it's like
that's true.
No
and
cohesion.
that's part of why it feels so disjointed so often.
Yes.
Because it hops around. It's almost like an anthology with the same like. It's very like scattered, and then that's the same like what JR was saying earlier about like adding all these details to his life after the fact. It's like
I feel like going and watching Freddy 1, 2, 3. That's not chronological order. I feel, you know what I mean. Like I watched it when I when I got invited to this live. I had to rewatch everything just to refresh my memory, and I'm like, is this chronological order? It is confusing going in between 1, 2, 3, and so forth.
I wouldn't put them. They're not made to be telling a long-term story. Like I said, different writers, directors. Robert Shea was the producer for like the majority of the films until they let him go later on. So yeah, I wouldn't take story into it because they're not thinking about that. They're not setting things up for future movies. They don't do that because they're just trying to make money. All right, what can we do for the next one now? You know, what gags can we do?
Figure it out when the time comes. They're just like,
yes, you know.
Well, I think too is the Nancy character kind of outlived the role because what are you gonna keep bringing her back for?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like almost the same thing with Halloween. You know, the Jamie Lee character, she was gone after the second one because there was no need for her. So they continued a different storyline. And part 2, the reason part 2 was different because he had nobody to go after. So he needed to come into the real world. That's what kind of changed the storyline from part 1 and part 2. Because his connection was always going after the kids of the parents who burned them. And that's where the franchise kind of put itself in a bad spot because once he got rid of all the kids, technically he ceases to exist in a way.
That should have been the case, yes.
Right.
Yeah, good shout.
Because that was the only film that came into realistic world.
Yeah.
And so, every other film was dream in and out, jumping in and out of reality. Yeah.
Yeah. Cole Poole says, I didn't know he already had the claws. I kind of feel like we might need to go back to that for just a second because I'm trying so hard to picture the opening scene and I don't remember his hands being burned.
Maybe
I
not.
remember them being normal hands with like dirt on them and stuff.
You could be right.
Yes, there was soot.
That's why I'm asking. Yeah, I could be wrong.
I don't remember if they were burned. That's a huge plot hole.
Because there was soot in his nails. It was white around the edges of his nails.
Don't make me pull up YouTube right now.
I'm kind of tempted.
I forgot
that it was burned.
I forgot what film it was, but there's a film where they go back and they find his claws in the factory, and they pull it out.
It's always been that there's always been a physical element to the claw, like them being still being in existence here.
Yeah, just like she pulled the hat out of in the first one, she pulled the hat out of the dream. So.
I did want to touch on one thing when we were kind of bouncing off something Lexi said earlier, talking about the reality of like what we can do in our dreams and utilizing that in this scenario. The other thing that's super common or was prevalent pretty much everybody's situation was the way and I think Rick said something about this too, about their traumas, like the things that they came from. So like Taryn's was, in my dreams, I'm beautiful and a badass. Because in the real world, she doesn't feel that way. In the real world, she feels unattractive and weak. And then you've got, the guy who was in I'm drawing a blank on his name. The guy that was in the wheelchair was like, in my dream, I can walk again.
I can walk.
The wizard.
It all comes from like a very real negative thing that happened in the real world, and then in the dream world it's corrected.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really cool theme.
Mhm.
Joey was the guy that
That's the
couldn't
mute.
see.
That's the mute,
The
Joey,
mute,
right?
yeah.
Oh yes.
That was Joe's favorite character, I remember.
And I forget the name of the wheelchair kid, but I know who you're talking about. And he's like, "Oh, look at me, I can walk."
He had the worst death. So anticlimactic. He just got stabbed.
Yeah, I just thought that was like a really unique way because, you know, technically, you know, away from this franchise, you're saying like, we don't really understand dreaming to the extent that like we don't really understand it all, and so like this concept that like all the things kind of wrong with your life can fix themselves. It's like, who wouldn't want to dream that way? Like, you know,
Maybe that's why some of these movies are confusing, because it's confusing in reality.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that works, though. I think it works. Okay, you ready? His hands are not burned in the opening.
Okay, all right.
They're
Oh, okay.
dirty. I'm going to show
That's
it.
what I'm saying. I never
So
said
that's-
burned. I said soot.
That's really cool. I never thought about that. So that cold open, well, not even a cold open, but that opening was when prior to
Yeah,
him
his
being
hands,
burned.
they're just dirty.
I see.
See?
Okay, nice.
I was sitting here thinking, I was like, dang, that's a big deal. If that's wrong.
Yeah,
Okay,
one of my
sorry.
favorite lines. What was that? God, no God. Like, so good, man. He's scary. One part made me laugh when remember Jared, though, when he chased after, he's all like this.
Yeah.
Down
That
the
look-
alleyway.
That looked goofy, man.
That was disturbing, though.
It was
I'm
disturbing.
sorry, man. You're
It was.
Whenever somebody's hands keep just stretching out.
I also like the scene where he comes out as like a big, huge worm, or you know the movie Tremors, the big worm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Out of
Swallows
and
Alice.
he starts to swallow the.
Yes.
Yes, that was really good.
So crazy.
Selena
one I
likes
think.
your background, Rick.
Thanks, babe.
So true about the dreams. What's up?
What up, Jose Lopez? What up, son?
Hey,
That's the third brother right here.
Yeah.
Hola,
Hola.
Debbie.
hola.
That's Michael Meyer right there. Yo. Oh shit. So real quick, if you ever heard Robert Englund, right, talk about his Freddy and how he came up with, his mannerisms and stuff, it's really fascinating. One thing he mentioned, when he would wear the glove, it would be heavy. So when he's in between takes, he would look in the mirror and notice the glove was weighing him down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So his hand, he looked like a gunslinger in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why if you see him the way he's posed, he's like, I can't do it here, you can't see it, but it's more like that classic Freddy Krueger pose. And because Robert Englund is short, to look intimidating, he would purposely spread his legs out and his arms to get more like an imposing posture. And it really does work. If you look at Freddy and a lot of the still shots,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it looks like.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep. I love listening to like Robert Englund talk about this.
He almost looks like he has like a shrug about him, like a really confident like shrug is what it
Yeah.
looks like.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wouldn't have thought it would have been heavy. I would have thought it would have been light. But I guess thinking about the time and it probably
Yeah, because think about it. Back then, they didn't know what it was going to turn into. Like, here, put some makeup on his gloves, so that's it.
Okay, speaking of makeup, how did we feel about Freddy's look in A New Nightmare?
I didn't like it, man. I don't know what Wes Craven was
It's a
thinking.
new nightmare.
It looked so fake.
Yeah.
It looked like if somebody bought like an actual
A raisin.
mold and here, Freddy mold, make your own Freddy mask.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
too clean. It was too clean. Like I don't know. I didn't like it.
I agree with that.
It just didn't look like the source material. It didn't look like a burn, but I guess that's because he's like coming from our whatever. Like he's supposed to be coming from the creation of like the movie and the story and the like
This
whatever.
looked more silly putty type of shit.
It did. Like it was stretched out.
Yeah.
Or like y'all know those little squeezy balls that have the things that come out of them?
Yes.
Like you know what I'm talking about? That's
Yes.
It was
Web.
too like symmetrical. Like look at Lexi's picture back there. Look at how burnt up he is. This guy he's all fucked up
It
and
looks
jacked
real.
up. It looks
Yeah.
real, and in that film it looks
Too
too
clean.
clean, too stylized. It's
Okay.
not. It doesn't work.
What
for
do you
me.
think, JR? You're being too quiet.
No, because that's the reason I didn't watch the remake. because I
Oh, I
hated
think
the
that's fine in the
freaking
remake.
makeup in the remake. It's 2010. You can't. You got to do better makeup than they did in the 80s.
He looked it weird, man.
He did.
Well,
He-
there's
he-
also a lot of CGI in the 2010.
I agree.
Yeah, but
And that's
hated
always
that
an
look.
issue, right? Because the practical effects, I think we're all
It's always an
practical
issue with
effects
me. I
fans.
hate CGI,
I agree.
man.
When you're
Well,
talking about a franchise built on practical effects, and then you come into and you add, because it genuinely would have been better no matter what they did. It would have like a lot of that stuff would have been so much better if they had done practical instead of CGI.
And that's
I
my
agree.
biggest take when it comes to. I mean, me and Rick talk about this a lot. When you do
Mm-hmm.
remakes, you like you said, the storyline separates itself from the original, which
Yeah.
is what you want to do when you do a remake. Either you separate it, make it its own, or you make a homage of it. But
It has to be a mix of the two.
when it comes to the character, the killer himself, you want him to look a lot better, a lot more menacing than the original. And I didn't feel that way when I watched the trailer, when I watched it's
because they try to make it too dark and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Like for instance, Wes Craven's original concept of the Freddy Krueger character was he was a child killer. In this
Yeah.
film, they made him more of a child molester to try and go darker, in a sense. And
Yeah.
that, okay, I didn't see the movie, so I can't comment on how they did on it. I'm just telling you from I'm interested. I always reading about how things come about. So that tells you and Angel had mentioned there's no jokes. I didn't know that. He don't cut jokes in this
Not
film at
funny.
all.
No, it's not.
Not funny.
And he has sarcastic one-liners, but they don't because of the content change. They don't hit the same way.
So they're
And
flat.
they also play with, and I don't feel like this is a massive spoiler. And if you guys aren't going to watch it anyway, it doesn't matter. But they really also kind of played with this idea that he was innocent. And they did it to the point that I genuinely was worried that's what they were going to do with the remake. They literally played with this he's innocent, they're wrong, the parents didn't know and they killed him and that's why he's mad because he didn't do anything wrong, he just cared about these kids a lot. And it takes until the last 20 minutes of the movie before it's confirmed that no, he was not a very good person. And but that was one of those things that it was kind of like I wish they hadn't tried to do that.
Which one are you talking about?
The remake.
The remake. Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Good actor.
I watched it once and never again, the remake. I didn't like the remake because of that. I agree with that.
Well, Jackie, or the guy that plays him, okay, let me just say this, another defense of it. I think he as a Freddy was fine. I don't think the issues that I had, and from what I can hear other people saying, I don't think it's a him as Freddy thing.
No.
It's a writing thing. I think it's
and the makeup.
thing.
The makeup.
That too.
Which is not a him thing. I think
No, it's not. No.
his presence, the voice that he does, the way he presents his lines are really unsettling. It's just when you add some of the other things, it takes away from what he was able to do as an actor.
Like for example, another movie that they did recently, we're all fans of the original Jeepers Creepers. I mean, I know we all love the original Jeepers Creepers.
We don't plug it too much on this channel though because
We
of
don't,
its
yes.
ties to.
We don't either. Don't worry. We don't either.
No.
We don't. But I'm just talking about the look of the killer.
Right.
Was
Yeah, because
very
it's
unique.
weird and scary.
Awesome. So they decided to do a remake, and what's the first thing people knock? What the hell were you guys thinking about the look of the creeper? He looked bad.
I didn't even see the new one. I'm gonna be honest.
And
I
they
didn't
got
see
a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't think anyone saw that.
Storyline is terrible. I watched the first 10 minutes. Storylines, they try to make it tied to black magic, and it was just terrible.
That's like
overcomplicate
Freddy.
makes.
Wait, Freddy's dead. They made him dream demons or some shit like that. Like they try to make it more demonic.
Fish
Right.
things.
Yeah, come on. Don't try and change the lore that late into the game.
That's too
man.
much
That's
of a
why I
change.
feel like there was too many Freddys. I'm a huge Freddy fan, and it just went
Really?
way too long.
I won't. Is that a mask? Or
Like Rick said, I'm a Jason fan.
No, JR said that.
Oh, JR. He did.
Cole says it looks like they tried to melt his nose. His strong nose is one of the best parts of the
Yes,
original.
yeah,
I agree with that.
I agree.
got no
I
problem
agree
with
with
that.
that. Cole Pool. I agree.
They gave
England
him
was
the,
also
gold
good
box.
in
Yes.
He was in V. Yeah.
Yes, the original.
I don't remember
Yeah,
that. He was in V.
Yeah, he was in the original V. He played.
I used to love that show, bro.
I don't know that show.
80s.
It's an 80s
Yeah,
show.
that's
Oh,
an 80s
that's why I
show.
don't
about the
Okay.
lizard people, but his character was the alien who was like a scientist, but was very calm. He was very nice, and he fell in love with a human, which he wasn't supposed to do.
Robert Englund is just
Yes.
awesome. Fun fact, did you know he auditioned to play Han Solo?
That was
Right.
great.
But that's not even the best part about it, though. When he went to play, he auditioned. They wanted a younger person. Okay, so he dropped out. But he saw a sign they were looking for Luke. When he went home, his roommate was Mark Hamill,
Oh, I did know this.
and he tells her, "Hey, man, I just came from this audition. I think you should go audition for this character of
did
Luke
know
Skywalker."
this.
So
I did
Mark
know
Hamill was like, "All right, let me get off the couch."
I'm
And
now
he became
looking
Luke
at it.
Skywalker. So, anyway, I don't know. So Robert Englund, I love the guy. Man. I could just talk
Robert
about him.
Englund also made like a few appearances in like smaller movies. Like I can't remember which snake movie. I want to say Anaconda or Python, one of the two.
Python. It wasn't in the
Python,
con.
it
I
wasn't
didn't.
Anaconda.
Yeah.
Like it was like he was literally 30-second. Like he basically an
Little
extra.
cameo.
Same thing. He was in
He was
Hatchet.
an extra, but
Yep.
I saw him and I was like, he's not no extra. I know who that is. That's Freddy.
Oh, he was in that
He
B
was
movie.
also in the
Was it
found
Python
footage
or
movie.
Anaconda? It was like when they were getting on the plane, or was it?
I don't know.
He was. So there's a movie. There's,
Mira, Alexi, para eso bebe. Diablo, conchale, diablo.
I'm just saying,
I-
he had a small appearance in like low budget movies.
Yeah, he had a cameo in a found footage movie called The Rise of Leslie or the whatever of what is that?
That movie is great, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Leslie what's it called?
Lexi Vernon. Lexi Vernon, you got it. It was
Something,
I forgot, but yeah,
The
that's the
Rise
one
of
where
Making
it's
of-
a meta film, right? Like they're
he
making a.
was- He was in that, and
He was
so
good.
was
Yeah, he was good.
Tangina from Poltergeist.
And he was also in the Midnight Club.
He was. Wait a minute.
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
wait. Refresh my memory. I know Heather was in that film. I mean that series.
Series, yeah.
What?
He was the one that they accused of murder, killing the family, and he was locked in his house.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's-
Yes, and
Yeah.
he was also what's that B movie
he was in Stranger Things too.
where
He
he's
was in
he,
Stranger Things.
oh that was one. He was a Stranger Things. I'm sorry.
Okay.
He was a
Sounds
Stranger
okay. You got it
Things.
confused.
Yeah, I got it confused. He was a Stranger Things. Yeah, and then he was in another B movie. It was actually pretty good where it's like a whole small town of cannibals.
Wait, I
that
know what
one.
you're talking about.
So many.
He plays the mayor of the town.
That's not
I
1,000
know that
Maniacs, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Yeah, yeah.
What's it called?
1,000 Maniacs.
Maniacs.
Oh,
That's
you
right.
did say that earlier. I didn't know what you were talking
You gotta
about.
watch
I
that.
didn't know.
That's good.
It's a
It's
good
fun
one.
movie. It's fun.
It's behind the mask.
Behind
Rise
the
of
mask.
Leslie
Thank you,
Vernon.
Daniel. Thank you.
I
Thank
couldn't
you.
remember. I knew it. We covered it on Found Footage
Hey,
Fridays. Angel
listen.
was not a fan. But
Hey,
it was-
guys. I'm sorry. If you want a nice B movie, I think it's late 70s, early 80s. It's Robert Englund's in it. Also, Sid Haig, who plays Captain Spaulding from House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, he's in it too.
Mhm.
It's a science fiction film. God, dog, I completely forgot the fucking name of this movie now.
Hey,
We'll
I was like
wait.
on the edge of
no,
my
no,
seat.
hold on,
I
hold
know,
on,
like
hold on,
Tell me
hold on.
the name.
you.
I got it.
Everything and you didn't even.
I got you.
He had a whole point and different.
Well,
Hey, listen, man, listen. I got
I'll
bad
drink for
memory.
you.
JR knows.
Well, he has
Hold
a
on.
new movie coming out, and it's
It's
with
a-
him and with the girl who played Jamie. And
Oh, I've seen a post. Did you? Maybe you shared that in the group chat. I
Yeah.
feel like I saw that recently.
I gotta see that.
Here we go. Oh, okay. 1981, Galaxy of Terror.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It's my kind of film. So if you don't like cheese, it's
I don't.
80s
I haven't
cheese.
seen
80s cheese, man. But it's a sci-fi movie. It's got Sid Haig, Robert Englund. They're all fucking young as hell too, man. It's crazy.
weird. Yeah.
I love going back and watching those older films to see what these actors were like playing these roles. But seeing Sid Haig with hair, it's so weird.
That'd be
Man.
weird.
I got a question for you guys because this story came out a couple weeks ago, where Heather Langenkamp said she would love to make another Freddy Krueger movie.
Freddie retired. Well, Robert Englund said he retired, right?
He's not gonna do it again.
Too old. He's too old. He's getting up there.
And she wants to do a legacy.
We don't
Nah,
need
I don't need it.
I'm
I'm
a
good.
huge Freddie fan, and we don't need no more.
Listen, if Robert Englund ain't doing it, I don't want it.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I think anything you do when you bring back, I think there's like an expiration date on bringing back originals from a franchise. Like there tends to be like it's too
But
much.
what more
Like,
can you
it's a
even
point.
do with it anyway?
Well, and the story has already changed so much, and we've already gotten this crossover. We've got the remake. It's like I think it just.
I agree.
Cole says the worst thing ever is trying to change the storyline, make a whole new movie. Yeah, I think that's literally when it started to just go down for me, was all the changes to the storyline.
I agree.
Everybody, I'll be right back. Okay.
All right. I haven't seen The Mangler.
The Mangler's good.
That's a good one.
That's a Stephen King one.
It's
basically it takes place in this like a factory, and the concept of the story is this machine, ironically called the Mangler, that has appetite for blood. And the person who owns the factory, it doesn't give a crap about workers and stuff like that. So there's a nice body count in the film. It's a Stephen King, so it tends to get a little cheesy in certain points, but it's actually an interesting movie. It's one of Stephen King's more interesting ones.
Is it an 80s?
It's 90s.
Remember?
It's a 90s film.
90s. Here's some fan guesses. Like Kevin Bacon could be.
I'm down with
I've
that.
heard people say that. Why though? What's the reason?
It's his persona. I feel for me. Like I
don't know who Richard Brake is. Who's that? Anybody know?
I am.
What's he been in? I don't know who that is.
I-
But Kevin Bacon historically in horror is not good. Like Stir of Echoes was not great. I did not. I thought it was like I've seen that. I knew first of all, I predicted the ending within the first 20 minutes of the
It was a slight ripoff of Jacob's Ladder.
It was a ripoff of Jacob's Ladder. And so what was the other one? The one with I just
Well,
talked
he
about
was that one.
Was it Fall of Darkness or something?
Darkness. That was not good either. And then
I don't think I've seen that one, but I've seen scrolling through.
And y'all covered they them, and that's got issues for a whole nother reason. There's another one that he did.
He was in the other one where basically he turned invisible. That they did a remake.
Hollow Man, where he plays a rapist invisible man. No thanks. Hard pass.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
Actually, you know who I think could pull off a good Freddy Krueger?
I love Halloween.
Am I Daniel this?
You love Hollow Man?
I did like it.
Oh.
I think the only person who could pull off a Freddy Krueger for me is Andy Serkis.
Who?
Oh, he's wild. Yeah.
Andy Serkis.
Interested.
What do you think, Rick?
What's up? What I miss?
Well, Cole mentioned Kevin Bacon.
Daniel
Freddy?
Garcia said Kevin Bacon could be Krueger.
Like if they had a recast.
I know somebody, but
I think Andy Serkis could pull off.
I love Andy Serkis, though.
Hell of a Freddy Krueger he could pull off. You don't know what Andy Serkis
like
is?
him too.
He's the voice of the Golem.
I know who he is. Yeah.
And he is an amazing actor.
Dude, oh my god,
very
so
versatile.
good.
He can do a lot of different things.
I know it's not horror, but he was in Andor. Oh my god, this guy can fucking act, bro.
Yeah,
he's so
super
good.
talented.
He's so good.
And he also seems to be anyway like really nice. Like
Yeah. That's always a plus, right?
yeah. I don't know. It's the truth is like I'm an advocate for remakes. I have an entire series about them on my channel. We in fact covered the Nightmare one. And I think like if I were to say like, oh, if they did, regardless of who they cast, aside from that, if they were to make another Nightmare on Elm Street remake or start over, reboot, whatever, would I watch it? Probably. Because I just think that sometimes in the right hands, these things can be really good. I mean, I love like the Carrie remake. Carrie is a cult classic. I absolutely love that. It's one of my favorite.
John Travolta.
It's so good. But the remake was given to the right people who respected the original, saw what it did, and were able to kind of add
to
to
the right hands person.
Yeah, and it needs to be. It has
Like
to be
James
that.
Wan, or who do you want?
What, for Freddy?
Oh, I don't know.
I know, it's
No,
tough,
I,
man.
not, I mean this with love because I absolutely love James Wan. Not James Wan.
No.
Yeah, no, that was just an example.
Just
I
an
don't think
example.
so.
It
For
would
him
have to be somebody that's good with like grit
Oh,
and
no.
dark and
There's no need
heavy.
to-
I would say somebody new, up and coming, young. Look at these guys that are doing movies now. All these guys are young, up and coming guys, man, that are fucking
right.
kicking ass,
No,
man.
well, what you could, the only person I could pull that could probably pull off this old school, and I think he'll give a hell of a different look to it. And if you actually take the storyline of part 2, because that left off a good, and you don't know how wounded that character is, where you could actually do a continuation of the storyline where maybe he thinks he's Freddy. Mark Patton was the guy who played Jesse.
Yeah.
But if you pull somebody like an Andy Serkis, sorry, as Freddy, and you bring in like Guillermo del Toro, I think
Oh, Del Toro would be a good
the
choice.
Yeah.
visuals he would pull off with Andy Serkis as the Freddy would be an amazing film.
I think I can. I
agree
would
with
back
that.
that.
Yeah.
Like,
Now,
Rich
even with
Jenkins-
our low to mid ranking of Freddy Revenge, I feel like the storyline was fine up until they went downhill with the all he was in realistic world. Wasn't
That
anything
was-
to do with Nightmare. So I agree with JR with that theory, like to put it in Toro's hands. Yeah.
It'll be
Yeah.
visually stunning because that guy could pull off anything. Andy
Andy
Serkis,
Serkis is Caesar and Ace.
Caesar, yes.
Love those. I need to finish them. I've only seen.
I stopped watching them because I didn't want to see the apes die.
No, the second one's actually pretty good.
I don't like seeing animals die.
So I grew up on the original Planet of the Apes. Like I watched that when I was way too young to even care about something like that.
Yeah.
And so I was
One of the best plot twists ever, yo.
And I even liked. Sue me. I even liked the Mark Wahlberg one. I thought it was really good. Tim Roth as a bad
Tim
guy,
Roth
I
is
mean,
awesome.
he's
He was
fantastic.
awesome. He was awesome in that movie.
He's so good. What's his? It starts with a T.
What?
The Tim Roth's character in the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, I forgot his name. Yeah, I don't remember.
I almost said Thanos. That's not it.
Joe, Thanos.
It's like something with it. Anyway, but that was really good. But anyway. Oh, and Cole says, oh look, Ricky has self as his screensaver. That little icon. that
Damn,
comes up
wow.
in-
Hold on. This mother, yo, that looks like me? That's me? Oh, Cole. Oh, man. You know what? Say his little helper. The Satan Man, I'll take it. I'll take it, Cole. I'll take that. I like that. Satan Man. I love Satan Man.
Here's some other suggestions. Matthew Lillard as Freddy.
No.
Nah, you know who would make a good Freddy? Richard Brake.
Yeah, someone said that.
He said that. He said that. Who is that? I don't know who that is.
He's a Rob Zombie, well, not only Rob Zombie, but he's in a lot of Rob Zombie films. He was in 31. He was in, alright, you don't watch Game of Thrones, I'm assuming, right?
No.
He was the original, he was Night King in Game of Thrones. He was in a Three from Hell. I mean, he was in Barbarian. He's seen Barbarian,
Oh.
right?
I have. Who is he in that?
He was Frank.
The guy who owned the house.
Oh,
Yes.
he always plays a piece of shit.
Yeah, he does. But he's so good.
He would be a great Freddy.
If you watch 31, right?
I don't really like Rob Zombie.
Nah, okay, but listen. That's alright. But he played Doomhead, and trust me, you watch that performance, and you'll be like, yeah, I can see Freddy in him, because he's charismatic as fuck. He's got crazy facial expressions.
The features. Alone
Yes, and his
told me.
features.
No, I'm
Yeah,
sold.
he's
That
good.
would be
He's
a great
good.
one. Sorry,
He's
I didn't
good.
know who that was when it came up earlier.
Someone
Freddy
said
remake
it?
for Sam Raimi or James Wan. Sam Raimi, I think, would make it too comical for me.
Yeah, Sam
James
Raimi.
Wan, I would lean more towards.
He is now in Star Wars now too.
Andy Serkis.
Yeah,
then-
yeah, any circus, yeah.
Damn, too many now. Scott Derrickson
Oh.
from Sinister for Elm Street.
Oh,
That would at
I
least,
like
I think, go
Sinister.
into the dark element. And
I want to see someone like Lee Cronin. I want to see do it. He did Evil Dead, or even the guy who did Evil Dead 2013, Freddy Alvarez, someone like that.
Yeah,
A newer guy now that's coming up, man. Because I think now the horror it's in the hands of the younger directors, and they got so many fresh ideas and perspectives. You know, they don't bring all this like baggage to the table. It's just them being themselves.
And they've got the ability to kind of paint their own path instead of getting gridlocked into these specific things, which is, you know, we praise Wes Craven for outside of the box, like his jumping in the different subgenres. We love that. But it's always questionable when people try to do that. Like, and I know a lot of people. I don't remember. I feel like at least Rick hated this movie. The movie *Malignant*.
No, I loved *Malignant*. They hated it.
Did you love it?
I loved it. They hated it. No, I take it back. They didn't hate it. They weren't as thrilled of it as like I was.
I really liked that it was different because it was outside of his typical haunted house stuff.
Yeah.
Although he did make the doll for Saw, I think, if I'm correct.
No.
James Wan.
Wait, who are we talking about? James Wan. He did what was that doll movie on? Wait, we talking.
He did the doll in Saw.
Dead Silence, right?
Dead Silence.
Oh, yes, Dead Silence.
Dead Silence.
Oh, Dead Silence. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, you said doll. Yeah, so I'm assuming you meant Dead Silence.
Oh, maybe that's what I meant.
If you want to make it really fun, give it to Damien Leone. See what he could pull.
Who?
Nah, he's busy.
He's busy with Terrifier.
That's my boy. Don't
He said,
leave. You know, listen. The one thing with horror now, and this happened with Freddy and Jason and everyone else, but it worked with Jason. Somebody creates this franchise, and that's it. They do one movie, one and done, and then all of a sudden, every movie is done by somebody else.
Yeah.
Damien Leone does Terrifier, but he's only doing Terrifier. He ain't doing anything else. No one else is doing Terrifier. He has his vision. Like, keep him on Terrifier. Don't take him away from that. I'm all set.
Also, I was correct. He made Billy the Doll for Saw as well.
okay.
Coming in
Billy-
about
what
my
do you
Saw
mean?
knowledge.
Wait, James Wan created the dog?
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's
did.
like he started doing things like outside of his.
I think he's done with horror. He did Aquaman. He got that.
He's not done with.
He got the Hollywood blockbuster money. I think he's done.
He's
with
not done with horror. Come on, Cameron.
No, I like James Wan.
Yeah.
I was surprised when I saw he was doing Aquaman. Like, James Wan? What the fuck?
Ty West
is awesome. Like, as far as Freddy, I don't know. He's just. It's hard, man. It's hard to because
Freddy's considered a slasher, but it's like a supernatural slasher.
it's supernatural. It is supernatural.
And I
It's
think
more
like Ty
comical.
West's strengths are like people movies.
I love Ty West because he does his films. They're all period pieces. They're all 70s, 80s. You know.
I have one, but I think it'll be banned in the United States if they let him do it. Pasquale Legier.
Now we're getting too over the top now. Come on, brother.
Wait,
What
I
is
know
this?
that name. Who's that?
Incident at Ghostland, Martyrs.
Martyrs,
Oh yeah.
Bye-bye,
That
man.
would give us the dark.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dark
see,
Knight.
directors like that though. This is the thing. Their strengths are when they have total control. He does Freddy. He don't got total control. He's with a big studio. He's gonna
That's
have to.
true.
He's gonna have to water it down.
And then
No.
it'll end up being not his vision.
Damn.
Basura. Holy
And he
shit.
says, The Conjuring freaked me out, and I get scared easily, but as they made the sequels, it started losing the scare factor. It actually
I agree.
started to become
Yeah.
funny.
I did not like the last one. I can't say I didn't like it, but I was
It
disappointed.
was the worst out of all of them.
But I
What was the
love
last one?
part 2 is still the best one to me.
I know we're not
Oh,
talking
I
about
agree.
The Devil Made Me
We
Do
just
It.
did a review.
Yes,
on
that one. Yeah.
a few
I
months
love
ago.
that one.
Did you really?
I love anything that takes stuff into the courts. Like the Exorcism of Emily Rose is one of my favorite.
That's a good
possession
film.
movies.
That's a good film. I didn't say it was bad. I was disappointed. That's what I said.
Oh, I loved it. And for the record, because I'm sure I assume people don't know this, a lot of the effects are actually practical in The Devil Made Me Do It. You know that scene when the little boy does that weird contortion on the
Yep.
table?
Oh yeah,
Not
that's all him.
CGI,
Nope.
that's
Nope.
practical effects.
I know. Trust me. I'm a
Yeah.
practical guy, Angel. Come on.
Yeah.
Man. I'm like JR over here with CGI over here.
There's
Whoa.
too much CGI in The Conjuring 3. No, there's not.
Fair. Nope, not with CGI.
I know. He knows I'm joking.
I was
I'm
gonna
more-
say I
I'm more
spent too much
realistic.
time on what's your story with him. You don't want CGI.
No. Yes, we always want different from people, but lots of times we criticize what they do.
But listen.
not
Hey,
wrong.
Cole, you're right, Cole. But listen, when Evil Dead 2013 came out and they had unknown people doing it,
I love
that
that
movie's
movie.
fucking awesome.
love
Come
that
What
on.
movie? Sorry, I missed it.
Evil
Evil
Dead.
Dead 2013.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
What else? I mean,
It
come
was
on.
a good
Ty West at one point was up and coming guy,
Better than the
and
second one.
Which one?
Evil Dead 2, or Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, 2013 is
Stop.
still supreme.
It is. No, I agree. I agree.
He's like,
You look at Joe's not here. I ripped Joe a new asshole.
Rich
Don't
Joe
let
on
me
this
rip.
one.
about Evil Dead. Oh,
Rich Joe.
Yeah, I came pumped up. Yeah, we all gave it good. Joe's like,
Yo, honestly, I
he
like
wrecked
it.
my world.
Joe, I'm
Nah.
with Joe. I'm leaning more towards Joe's point of view than the good
That's
stuff.
okay. That's okay. It's okay to disagree. It's okay. Hey, listen. I make it passionate because I love film, but I don't take things personally. So.
no.
Right.
Me and JR almost got into it one time on 3 Corners of Horror for what, X? Oh my god.
No, whoa. The two films we reviewed,
I felt bad.
and this goes back to the whole thing about making, like a new movie. When we reviewed the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the fact that Leatherface was in the 70s.
That was such a funny episode.
No, but it's what you didn't see behind the scenes.
Yeah, you didn't want to see all
It
that.
was way worse.
A massive argument behind the scenes.
Oh my gosh.
I cut so much out of that episode.
No, Rick cut all the angry Rick out of the episode.
I've never I wasn't as mad ever as I was in that episode, man. But now that I look back at it, you guys are right. I haven't seen Evil Dead. Oh, I'm sorry. This is your channel. I'm sorry, Angel. I apologize.
He's like, let me ask you a question.
Oh no!
And the infamous phone.
The landline thing kills me every single time it happens. I totally forget it's
When
a
we
thing.
sit and record with Rick, man, every time.
He's like, oh. Okay. Debbie says, I haven't seen Evil Dead Rise, but I was told a
What's
few
your
kids
favorite
not to
scary
watch
movie?
because it's messed up how they took out the kids. Okay, so let me say, I will say something to that. I went and saw this in theaters, and I have a child that has impacted my ability to watch a lot of things. For example, I sat down to watch the remake of Pet Sematary, and before anything happens, I saw the first truck, and I thought, oh God, I forgot that's what happened, and I turned it off. Like, I have my thing with kids. This did not affect me as a mother, not once. Because everything that they set up to happen, they showed it, and then it was over like that. And then it was done, and they moved on to the next. I had no time to care about anything that happened to
Have you ever
those
seen
kids.
the movie Mama?
I love that movie.
Okay, I was gonna say that's
one of my
Hold on. Which one though? There's 2 of them.
The Del Toro
Mama.
one.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
okay, yes.
What's the other one?
Mama with Octavia Spencer.
Yes.
That's a fucking awesome
The one
movie.
that
by the
we
way.
did on What's Your Story?
But you guys saw the Del
Yeah,
Toro.
You're talking about the one with the 2 kids that end up in the shack for a little while.
Yes.
Okay. I love that movie.
Okay.
That was really good. That's one that I argue with people about because they didn't like the ending. But what other way could it have ended?
And it was the best.
It had a perfect ending.
It's the second saddest ending of all horror, according to me and JR. I feel.
Second?
I have to
Second saddest.
really
The
think
first
about
saddest. What's the first saddest?
The Mist.
Yep.
that. No, my second saddest is way worse than Mama. Have y'all seen that crappy A24 movie, They Come at Night, or It Comes at Night?
Yes, I saw it.
That is the saddest ending. When I tell you I was
Wait,
on my couch sobbing so hard I couldn't breathe, I had to go lay next to my child's bed and lay there and make sure that he was okay. after I
Talk
saw
about a movie that nothing happens.
Oh
No.
my! And then the one thing they do happen fucked me up. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
so angry about
Yeah,
that
yeah.
movie.
Yep.
That
Mhm.
would be my second saddest.
Yeah.
Comes in like
That one is rough. I was.
What
like,
is it called?
JR, watch it.
It
Watch
comes
it,
at
JR.
night or something.
Yeah.
It comes at night.
It's the most vaguest film you're ever
Nothing.
gonna watch.
It's supposed to be subliminally about like
I see what
depression and paranoia, but all you get is bored and then an awful ending.
Yeah.
Oh, have you seen Z? Come on, JR.
I'm up. Z wants to play.
See? She likes Z.
Yes.
Yeah, I
She
love
doesn't
that
like
one.
Z.
Wait, what?
Z.
She doesn't like Z.
Is that right? The one with the
Z.
imaginary friend?
Yeah, she didn't
Yeah.
like her.
I did not
Why?
like. What? So you're gonna have to watch What's Your Story. But
Yeah, fair enough.
me and JR both basically
Well, they
reread
have
that
some
story.
flaws. So I do what I always do. I
So
revise
I will
everything.
say, me and JR loved the potential of the movie. There was so much potential.
I loved it.
Really?
Even the ending. Yep.
But the Z character himself was just like Gollum feeling, and you know what I mean? Like from
When it shows up in the bathtub, ooh.
yes, exactly. That's the exact scene I'm talking about.
I can't.
Hold on, she'll put the comments up. Yeah.
Y'all don't want to listen to me talk. God. Okay. Sorry.
Rick King got a moderator mode.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm so used to doing all this myself.
David
I forget. I
Essenger
can just chill.
from Lights Out for Elm Street reboot.
I love Lights Out.
I haven't seen Lights Out.
It was alright.
I didn't
You haven't
see it.
seen Lights Out?
The uncut version of
Which? Yeah, cool. Elaborate, please. Which one?
which uncut version?
We talked about a
what?
few
The
films.
saddest ending was Lamb. I didn't watch it because it's an
I didn't
A24
watch
movie.
I haven't watched Slam either.
Saddest endings, Hereditary. Oh god, these A24 movies.
No,
Hereditary and
I'm sorry, Dan. None of those two are sad.
I
The
haven't
Dead
seen
Zone.
It's
Hold on, you just said the other movies are sadder. How are you gonna?
Midsummer had a happy ending. That's a happy ending.
What? Because it ended?
Yeah.
Watching Rich Omar, I wanted to take drugs because that movie.
I know.
Was freaking
Well,
terrible.
I liked
And the best scene was the two old people jumping off the freaking.
And that was early in the film.
I liked that the piece of shit boyfriend burned alive as a teddy bear. I thought that was hysterical.
It's not a bad film. It's not a bad film.
But no,
Hereditary,
it wasn't sad to
overrated.
me. And Hereditary, I mean, I've talked a lot
One of
about
the
that
worst
one.
endings of any horror movie.
Worst ending?
Hereditary? God, that shit was stupid.
What?
What happened?
One of my worst endings is, and JR and I talked about this on Morning Musings, but is the It Chapter 2 remake.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Where he like deflates because he got bullied to death.
right.
That
yeah.
yo, you know one thing I noticed about
I agree with
watching that movie upon a rewatch? It's long as fuck.
It is
Too long.
long.
That movie's long, man.
It is long.
I'm not a fan of long movies, in case you don't know.
Boogeyman yet?
Huh?
The newest Boogeyman?
I haven't seen it. I don't get
I've
to
heard
see
so
stuff
many
till it
bad
comes
things
out
about that thing.
streaming.
I heard a
I
lot of
like
bad
it.
I've heard mixed things. I've heard people say they really liked it.
I did like it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We'll have to find out for ourselves.
There's an original, but
Is that the?
they did good.
We stray so far from the topic.
Oh, here you go, JR. This comment's for you.
Oh, yes. Worst film ever. I'm gonna say it like I was saying.
Oh,
Fuck you,
JR.
Daniel.
hold on, JR. You're talking that shit. Terrificon, you're going, right? Your boy's gonna be there who was.
I'm gonna be in Florida.
Oh, the guy from Halloween Ends. Who was the guy? The guy from the earlier
Corey?
films.
That's
Oh,
Not
the guy
Corey.
who made them.
No, I'm sorry. Halloween Kills. The guy from Halloween Kills. The one who played Tommy.
Michael Anthony Hall.
He's gonna be
Michael
there.
Anthony Hall.
You
I
hate.
heard him from the Brat Pack.
Yeah. Jared hated him in that movie, so I was like, Jared, go talk your shit out to his face. Go ahead, yo.
Wait,
He
JR,
go back
8
tonight.
o'clock. When are you coming to Florida?
Evil dies. He's going to Florida. He's gonna. Yeah. Go hang out with Lexi.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Oh, he said he wants the uncut version of you being angry.
Oh, okay. You know that's long gone. I deleted that a long time.
Watch our Evil Dead Rise our review.
The Boogeyman had a TV episode more faithful to the story. So wait, is this connected to?
I don't know what this.
connected
I
to
think of
Boogeyman?
Boogeyman. I think of that Sam Raimi produced movie from like.
The
10 years ago.
Boogeyman is a Stephen King story. The
Right.
story is very good. The story
But it's
is
not
very-
connected to the old Boogeyman where it was
No.
just all the stuff in his room
It's
and it was
brand
like
new.
They
childhood
just call it. They just call it
trauma.
Boogeyman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because there's like another Boogeyman, and there's
Yes,
another.
there is an
They
original.
actually had a TV series that they did the Boogeyman.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. They had a TV series that was more faithful to the story. I don't
Yeah.
know anything about it.
Speaking of TV series, how about that Freddy TV series that came out?
So I haven't seen any of that, and I
Oh.
wasn't going to be committed to
It's so bad that they actually turned Freddy into just a guy that just hosted it eventually, and then they just didn't care. You know what? Just do whatever you want. Just every episode was different director, writer. They didn't care what they just did whatever the fuck they wanted. It was so bad by the end. You didn't.
Can I say why I'm super obsessed with Freddy? I've always been a fan of Freddy since I was like 5 years old. It's one of the, besides The Exorcist, like he was the second like.
Oh, because of the shirt. You like his shirt. That's why. Right?
No, I just like his persona. The fact that so the reasons why Joe hates Freddy is the exact reasons why I love Freddy. I love Freddy because he can be inside and outside your dreams. You can't escape the situation. And I like movies that scare the shit out of me. So being 5 years old, watching Freddy in and out of your dreams, like that's why I love Freddy so much. And I like also, and maybe this is nitpicking, but I like the fact that in the original movie, and like years later, from 5 years old to now I'm 33. I am a sleep technologist in real life.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Good show. I didn't even think about that.
Life.
They do the sleep study in the first one, and man, they should do some research on how to do sleep studies because the wires are on backwards and all of that.
Lexi, I have a challenge for you. The day you quit your job, the last patient you have, dress like Freddy Krueger, and wake them up.
Just like that. I
bring this guy to work all the time. I bring him to work.
That fucking mug is creepy as fuck.
It is very creepy.
I bring him to work, and my patients will be like, "Oh, I like your stuff." I'm like, "But do you? Do you?"
That Freddy mug looks better than the remake Freddy, right?
Yo, for real. It's the original Freddy.
You should do that, Lexi. Every patient be like, man, I enjoyed your dream you had last night.
I'll be there. Is that what does that mean?
You'll be aware, Selena.
On?
You'll be aware.
Freddy's Nightmares beginning was done by Toby Hooper.
Yeah. Toby Hooper was involved in a lot of stuff, man. It's sad. You know what makes me sad? That Toby Hooper, Wes Craven, these guys are no longer with us, man. Like,
they're done.
It's amazing. Like, they're just gone. George Romero, gone. Yeah. I don't know, man. It makes me feel sad. These are my heroes growing up, you know?
Right.
And you're talking about people that have forever altered the future of horror. Like, these are people that...
But you talk a lot about a lot of upcoming who is an upcoming that you like director besides Toro and Craven, and like, is there an upcoming person that you like today?
Damien Leone, Lee Cronin's really good when it comes to horror. I think those two stand out to me now more than anyone else. I can't think of anyone else aside from television series, but movie wise, those Lee Cronin and Fede Alvarez has already been in the game for a minute now. I would say him, but he's been in the game for a while now. But Damien Leone, man, I love his Terrifier series. The fact that he's done All Hallows Eve, Terrifier 1, Terrifier 2,
and then
not just Terrifier 1, Terrifier 0. 1, then 2, because he did 3 of them. People don't know that. Right. And the fact that he does all the makeup effects as well. Damien Leone. So when you watch Terrifier, he writes it, directs it, and does all the makeup effects.
A lot.
So that's as an up and coming guy, he's on my top list. Lee Cronin did Evil Dead. I like people like that they make films, but they still pay homage to the older films that came before it, and they don't try, People were upset a lot with Evil Dead Rise. Looking back in retrospect, I understand it, but I still think the strengths are it's more superior to the weaknesses as to those films. And I think Freddy, that's where it fails, because Freddy, I think this came at a time where it's Michael Bay when he did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th. And correct me if I'm wrong, Samuel Bayer did. JR, you saw it. He did no, you didn't see it. Yeah, I guess Lexi or Angel had to answer that one for me. Actually, no. I'm Ricky Grimes, motherfucker. What are we talking about, man? Come on, son.
What are you talking about?
What am I talking? Samuel Bayer. He directed the new. So that came during a time where those films were good.
Okay.
Oh no! He got so excited he clicked out of the thing.
Wait till he jumps back in. He's like, what the fuck happened?
He's gonna be like, what the fuck?
Only Ricky and I stream.
Super Grimes as it is.
Oh my
Grimes. Give him a minute.
That's so ridiculously funny.
That is too
I'm
funny.
glad this is live.
Me too.
I'm so glad this is live. He can't edit this shit.
No. It was such an enthusiastic leaving too. Like, oh, I know.
Oh my God.
So, like I was saying, though, these movies, these up and coming guys, they're good because they don't have a lot of baggage attached to them. So, yeah, those are my two favorite up and coming horror directors. What happened? Why are you guys laughing?
That hurt my cheeks. That was so funny.
Oh man,
happened?
unedited. I love it.
Fredita over here.
What happened? Why you guys? Oh, see, man, that's fucked
No,
up.
Fredita, what happened?
It's fucked up.
Oh my God, that was so funny. It was probably,
We were all at the edge of our seats too, and then you were like,
and then you were just like out.
All right, well, I went to change pages and I clicked
I
off back.
Oh my God. I'm gonna get
All
caught
right.
up on these. Let me get caught up on these comments really quick. Daddy says, "Good twist. I like the twist in others."
Yeah, that was a good one right there.
love
That set the bar for twist endings for me.
Others was dope. Yeah.
I love that.
Liam,
So underrated.
Liam Neeson, because of Dark Man, could be Freddy.
He's
Liam,
too
Ne-
old.
Darkman,
Too
awesome film, awesome
Oh.
film.
Liam
He
Nielsen.
did Shocker and Swamp Thing.
It's funny because Shocker was like a complete, like almost rip off of Freddy Krueger.
Oh, Liam Nielsen just
Something awesome film, by the way.
Creep Show, Video Game Comes 20, and Dead by Daylight 1 film.
Hold on, man, hold on.
Midnight Daylight.
What? Creepshow video game?
I didn't know about the video game. I did know about the
Video
Dead by
game.
That's why when you said he was done with horror, I was like, no, he's not.
Hold on, I forget.
He's
Hold
done
on.
other projects.
In 2024.
He piqued my interest. Creepshow
Yeah.
video
Oh,
game.
and Selena was talking about the con.
At the
Oh,
con.
that's a Terrificon. She's gonna go with you.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. All right, let's do
You
it.
like Freddy Miss Me? I don't know what that is.
No, that's like that line. Miss me. That was from the.
Oh,
what was
that's
that
the
from?
line.
A
I
New
see-
Nightmare, right? A New Nightmare.
I
That-
Yeah.
I think. That's
Oh, yes.
I believe it was a New Nightmare.
And the Sixth Sense twist, yeah.
Love the Sixth Sense.
Yeah. Good twist on that one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that invented the twist. What
Oh, I
movie?
did have a,
Nah, I wouldn't say that. It popularized it.
which one? The Sixth Sense?
Yeah. There's bit twist before that, but the
Yeah.
Sixth Sense really.
And it was a slow burn.
Yeah, but good. That's the kind of movie, though. You know what's funny about that movie? It's a slow burn. You're watching, you're bored, but then the twist comes. You're like, I gotta see this whole movie all over again now, just to catch everything. You know, now when you watch it again, like, yes, he's not touching anything.
I gotta find that red doorknob.
Yeah.
I had a shout I wanted to do really quick, but I gotta find the name of the thing.
I don't know why. I just got a big image of like, because maybe it's because Insidious is coming out this weekend or yesterday. It dropped yesterday.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Lexi, let me ask you a question. You know Ricky Grimes. Why am I not watching that film?
Because of PG-13.
There you go. She knows me. So.
Yes.
I love the others. It has such a great ending. It's
And it's PG-13.
That's a ghost story, okay? That's a ghost story.
This is a semi-ghost story. It's
You
kind
can't
of-
go from rated R movies to a PG-13 movie. Was it Insidious all rated R?
Some
They're all rated
PG-13
R.
movies are an exception.
I don't like it when they go from rated R. Oh, okay, let's go to PG-13 now. Hey, PG-13 is good stuff. Come on, Poltergeist was PG-13. Lex Angel, come
Well,
on.
It's actually
PG-13.
PG. It's actually PG.
It is PG. It
I
is
got
PG.
an image of like Patrick Wilson as Freddy. I don't know why.
No.
Maybe it's because the
Yeah,
way he
No,
acted in
stop.
I'm not a PG-13
Insidious-
horror guy. I hate PG-13 horror.
Insidious is PG-13. It has never been rated R, which I was
Okay.
going to say.
Think about
Oh, did that
No.
make sense? That makes sense why
No.
I've never seen that one Insidious film. Okay,
Retract.
that makes sense.
You don't know what you're
But
talking
think
about.
I've never.
Wilson in Insidious 2. And the way
Uh,
he acted, because it wasn't Patrick Wilson. It was the guy haunting him the
Yeah,
entire
the guy in the wedding dress.
Yeah.
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 Cole said he likes how you came back on like nothing.
Right.
Cole always calls out Rick.
Yo, Cole Pool always calls me out. I love Cole Pool.
I haven't seen this one.
She's
Good
awesome.
twist ending.
Oh yes,
What's
Come on,
that?
high tension, high tension,
High tension.
hot tension. That's the what is the? Gee, where's that from? High tension's French, right? French movie. That's the French name for it. It's called Razor Blade Romance. Original title.
I've probably heard of it, but I don't think I've seen it.
You never seen High? If you ever get a chance, watch it. High Tension.
So, okay.
It sucks like there's a twist now. It ruins it, but
I had a shout I wanted to do because this came out right before we were getting ready to do this. So I follow a horror author called Anthony Brownlee. He's going to come on and do the Insidious franchise live with me and Tasha. He and a group of his friends did a documentary called Fred Heads that is on Tubi as of this past week.
Tubi.
So just wanted to say, like, if you're fans, I mean, it's a truly fan-made documentary. All of the people involved are really big fans of the franchise, and so they made it. It's called Fred Heads, and it's on Tubi right now.
Good show. Thank you for plugging that. Now that's Insidious. So, Freddy Krueger, Fred Heads. Wait, what's going on?
Fred, yeah, Freddy.
But I thought we told Insidious though.
We were talking. I said I wanted to do. Oh my god!
All right, let me shut up, guys. Joe, you talk to you.
Can I say one thing though? I love how we ranked Freddy versus Jason, and in a few weeks we'll be camp coaches.
Oh,
so I will love how our view is when it comes to that side.
I'm a big Friday the 13th guy, man. There is
a more leaning towards the other one.
And I'm
Which
so glad
one?
I'm tuning in for that one.
Which one? What?
For the July 27th.
That's gonna be a fun one. Yeah. That's gonna be
Yeah.
a fun one.
I still have to get my outfit together, but
I bought like extra pieces. I'm excited.
Nice.
I was
as
like,
a camp coach or something, right? So
Wait till you see Joe. That's all I gotta say.
oh,
I'm so
God.
excited for that. I love Joe.
I can't wait. I can only
I
imagine.
Joey! Shout out to Joe the psychologist. So.
Joe the psychologist. Yeah.
All right, guys. Just real quick. Real quick. I'm sorry. I got this question, guys. Real quick. I want to get back on track. Freddy Krueger, right?
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about Insidious.
Wait. Are we? Wait. Go ahead. I'm sorry. It's your stream.
Confusing.
So
Go ahead.
Patrick Wilson as
Hey,
Freddy.
Hey, but this we have to mention this.
Host from Voices from the Mausoleum, please get us back on track.
We have to mention this though. Angel. I'll start with you. We'll go GR, Lexi, then me. What's your favorite Freddy Krueger kill?
My favorite kill?
Yes.
It's probably a toss-up between the TV and the motorcycle.
The motorcycle was so good,
Motorcycle
man.
was cool. Well, you know why?
Probably one of the worst ones too. The movies.
motorcycle one I liked because it was very sci-fi.
Yeah.
And I think sci-fi horror, sign me up. Like, I love it. So I think but I really love the TV kill. So it'd be like a toss-up between the two.
GR?
For me, I gotta be honest. I'm gonna go back to the original where the dude's girlfriend is getting killed and she's going
On the wall.
It's crazy. They use a revolving room to do that. That's crazy.
I thought that was
so good.
cool. Yeah, because we never seen that before in a horror movie.
Oh no.
I'm like,
They got like Tina. I would have been like, motherfucker, get a grabber. What are you
so
doing?
ridiculous.
I would have been.
What are you doing, man?
I don't mean to be mean. I apologize. It's gonna come out mean, but that's happening. And I'm at my girl's house. I'm getting dressed because I know I'm gonna be a suspect. So
That's true.
I'm out before that whole thing.
No, what I'm doing is if you're a suspect, go knock on Nancy and homeboy over there, Glenn. Look at this. That's not my fault. But look. I'm not running away.
He does. He just stays there for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I would have got up, left the room, and woke up Tina and Glenn and said, "Hey, look what's going on." They could have fixed that so easily, but he ran off, and of course it's expected.
Yeah, I mean, he was gonna be a suspect regardless.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'm out, man. Thank God. See, now if that scene was done,
Tina,
I would have been with the phone like this, recording this live on Facebook.
Yeah, but
this ain't me doing this. You guys are all witnesses.
live on Facebook.
Yeah, live on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere because I'm not getting accused of anything.
Oh, back then there was no social media though.
I'm saying, yeah, but what's that now? Live stream that shit.
So for the entire live, I've been saying the whole TV scene from Dream Warriors. But the other underlining one that I really liked was the whole puppeteer one.
Ah, you took mine. I knew it. I knew
Yeah,
someone was
sorry.
gonna take.
Daniel Garcia said
No.
the Freddy puppet.
Ah, Daniel. Yeah. That's my favorite.
I
That's
just
my
like it because, like, okay, so maybe personally I can relate to it. The nurse at the station. I mean, he's walking by. Was it Jesse again or Joey? It was Joey.
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 He was waking everybody up. Yeah.
Yes, he was walking. Being strung by Freddy, and the nurse is just not.
No. Joey is the mute guy. Don't
Joey's
forget.
the one that can't talk.
Yeah.
I forget this guy's
Yeah,
name.
but I
They're
thought he
yellow.
went into Dream Warriors, right?
That's before though. That's before. Because remember, he was the first. The puppet
He's
guy was the
of
first
group
kill.
to die.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they
Right.
weren't
Oh,
aware
okay.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot the
So
guy's name, the sleepwalking guy. But he
Yeah,
didn't
cool
last
guy.
long.
Either way,
Huh?
He was a cool
I love
guy.
that.
Why? He was a cool. You spent
He
all
was-
the time
he was
with him.
cool.
How
No,
was
he was
that?
cool, but he was
The
like a
ginger?
jerk.
That was his archetype, was the
Yeah.
cool guy.
Oh,
Right.
good shout, good shout, good shout, good shout.
But I like the puppeteer one because
a good
he's
one.
walking flights of stairs.
And the fact that everyone's watching at the window. Hey,
Exactly.
stop!
Freddy is all about being in and inside dreams and outside into reality.
Yeah.
And
That
me
was
being a
good.
sleep
That's a
tech,
good one.
like
Yeah.
me being a sleep technologist and watching patients all the time, it's just like, how could you not see him walk by?
Yeah.
Like, come on! And and then the head of the whole facility is like, we had 2 suicides and 1 a death or something like that, or I forget, but
Yeah.
he's like, we've had 2 suicides or attempted suicide. It was, that's what it was, 2
Attempted
suicides and then an
suicide.
attempted suicide.
Mhm.
And he's like, come on. I
Yeah.
just don't
Philip.
see how
Philip
these
was the
people, there's guards, there's nurses, there's doctors,
Philip,
you don't see
Philip.
this stuff. What did he say? I didn't
No,
catch it.
Philip. No,
Philip
Philip
is
was
the
the
guy's name that was
the
the-
victim. The victim.
Right.
Yeah, the
Oh,
victim.
Philip, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that puppeteer, like, you're crossing from your room all the way to like flights of stairs and
Up into places patients shouldn't even be able to get to.
right, exactly. The like, from the east wing to the west wing, you can't get to the west wing.
And no one stopped. And
But did you notice when he went through that door, it had a padlock. So there was no way he could have got to that section at all. I don't know if you guys noticed that. So when he's
Yeah.
getting puppeteered and he's passing the nurse's desk, the door is padlocked with a lock. You got to get a key to get it in. So I like that they kind of use like a paranormal feel to get through that door, and now he's up, at the ledge, and unfortunately doesn't make it. But that's one of my favorite scenes.
well, I will say, kind of touching on the lock thing, is like they do that a few different times where the rules of the physical world when he's taken over don't matter. Like he's got that one kid that it's not the same scene. No, I think it's a different one where the kid is like going up the stairs, but there's no stairs in the real world. There's only stairs in the dream, and it looks like he's floating because he's like going upstairs that like don't exist.
You can say that same thing through the TV scene. She's
Yeah,
getting-
so it's like the rules of the physical world don't matter when
Right.
he's like doing.
and
shit.
that's what makes Freddy scary. And my favorite man,
Totally agree.
Hour.
Wanted to see the kid that cut his eyelids to stay awake
I remember that.
because that's inevitably going to work.
Yeah, right.
I
Oh,
forget.
just cut my eyelids off. So
Line
okay, I
that
don't
way.
need them.
I forget whose line that was. They didn't physically do it, but he said, "I'm about to keep, cut my eyelids to stay awake." Yeah, it was
One thing with Freddy versus Jason though, just to get back into that real quick. I love John Ritter. That's my boy. Three's Company. He's one of my heroes growing
Yeah.
up. His son was a horrible actor, man. He was so bad in this movie. I'm sorry. I know. I don't want to be negative, but he was bad. I wonder why you don't see him in any other movies, bro.
I will say this in talking about like going back to defending the remake. One of the things that I did like that the remake did was it goes into like the science of sleep. Like it talks about like the dangers of not getting sleep, what physically happens to the body if you
Yeah,
don't allow yourself
yeah.
sleep. And I think that going into it from like a scientific approach was like added a sense of realism that I don't think the others really do, because they take the drug Stay Awake or whatever it's called, Sleep Awake, whatever it's called, I can't remember. But they, you know, they go into that, but that's like really all we see is the drug that they take to not dream. But this goes into like micro napping, what happens to the the physiology of your brain when you don't sleep. And I think that at least most of it, I'm not a Lexi, so I'm not 100% sure, but I think for the most part, it was pretty accurate information, and it made it more like there's no escape, because you literally, your body will force you to sleep if you don't do it.
Yeah.
And that's interesting to me.
Right.
Well, like
I forget what the exact
original.
medication is, but it is in Dream Warriors. They say that medication.
It's called something. They
They mentioned it in Freddy vs. Jason too a lot. I completely
it was,
don't know
and I
what it is.
cannot remember the name of it.
I forgot Ambersil or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, because remember in the original, the mother was basically constantly taking Valium.
Yes,
So
yeah.
the mother was always drugged up and high and getting, sleeping, because that's how she slept.
But think about all the parents from Freddy 1 all the way to the end. They all just like suck, period. Like, how can you not help your child? And that's why the Dream Child was so low rated for me, because like, how do you not help your child through such a situation that they're suffering?
The mom that drugs her daughter, which one was that?
That was the master.
That one pissed me off.
Mm-hmm.
She
Because
put all
she said-
those drugs in her drink.
Parents are shitty in this
with
fucking
the
movie,
recasting of Alice.
Alice. Chris,
Yeah.
I don't
Or
know.
Kristen. One of the two. I feel like they're the same. But one of the two, Alice or Kristen, it was the recasting of the character. And she was like, "Oh, you killed me. You killed me, mother." And she
Oh,
went up the stairs and died
I
because of
hated her
Freddy.
guts. I was
Yeah, that was terrible.
fucking mad when that happened. I was so mad.
Yeah.
But I think that's what ruined the franchise, because I go back to what I said in the beginning. The connection to these kids was the parents, and was Freddy taking out revenge to kill all the kids of the parents that killed him.
Mhm.
The minute they stopped that completely, there's no point in Freddy. And
Right.
he's not, and like Rick was saying, they make him like a demon or something. Come on, he was.
They ran out of ideas at that point. They killed Freddy every fucking movie.
They
But
do, and he's
it-
never
it-
coming back
and-
every time.
And the studio knew he was coming back, and they still did those fucking endings. I don't.
Think about one thing too. I forgot which film it was. He said it. I need more victims. I need more souls, because
Mm-hmm.
he ran out of all.
everyone.
Yeah, but it's just he ran out of revenge. That's for me why I lost after Dream Warriors. It was just
Yeah, in the original film, was the kids he was killing were the children of the parents that killed him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
It's a
they
revenge
definitely-
story. So
Freddy
yeah,
was
yeah.
that homie that would kill your mama and your daddy and your grandpa and your
Yeah.
grandma. Like, he was going after everybody.
And joke about it before he kills him.
Yeah. Well, it took to like the second one. The second one he was serious too. So his
Yeah.
jokes were a little bit more like
Yeah, the second one was when he
Blind.
started getting a bit more on
The
the
third
more
one was-
talkative side. But the
Yes.
third one is when he became comical one-liners and
yes.
welcome to prime time, bitch, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, and I was going to say too, like when you're talking about like the fear element going away, like as far as like switching to the comedy, I always think of Child's Play, because Child's Play did the
Yeah.
same thing. It went from being an attempt at being a more serious, scary movie, the first one, and then the more attitude and sass, and then you get to like Bride of Chucky, which I don't think
Then it's all satire at that point. It's all satire.
but it's
yeah.
just funny at that point,
Yeah,
and
yep.
like it loses its like fear factor when it's too funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hated the remake of Child's Play so badly.
Oh, I liked it, the AI one, but
I liked it. I'm with you, Angel. I liked it. I liked it. I won't lie. I can't lie. I enjoyed it. It's you know what it is? If you're gonna make a movie, like you're gonna remake Child's Play, but for the generation of today, that's all about
that was a
applications,
great
AI.
way to do it.
It puts it so it
An
has
AI
this.
Chucky?
Yeah, because this is what these kids now are growing up with.
JR,
You know,
back me up.
This movie wasn't made for us. this movie's made for all right. Let's get this generation
Yeah.
now.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I watched it, I'm like, damn, okay. I could see why they did this movie, and I'm not saying it's great, but I enjoyed it.
No, it's not without its faults. But
Yeah,
it's better than
exactly.
a lot of other remakes I've seen.
No,
Like
I mean,
I'm a big fan of Audrey Plaza, so
I
that's a
love
plus.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm a little
She's
biased
great.
for that.
like Rick, I think Rick, between me, Joe, and him, he's the one that will give remake a chance. Because Rick likes to see what interesting thing they're going to come up with to make the movie better. Like I know he's very excited.
Wi-Fi Chucky.
He's very excited for the remake of the Leprechaun. He is so excited for that one.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic.
I'm gonna do a couple of these comments really quick before we wrap up.
let's do it.
The girl from the classroom in the remake gave a better fear performance than the protagonist.
Who was in this? So, all right, so I didn't see it. So apparently, all right, who's in this film? Who's in this remake?
The girl.
Like, who's the girl he's talking about?
Yeah, I think the girl he's talking, not the girl that plays Nancy, but the blonde that plays
Kristen Riles.
That's
the
That's-
first one.
that's right. They actually named her
All
Nancy.
of their
Oh
names.
boy,
Wow.
that's bad. I didn't. They really called her Nancy?
Yeah, they have the same names. No, am I? Yes, they do.
Yeah, they did. They did. You're right.
I was thinking, I was like, man,
they
maybe
did.
I'm wrong. Well, and this has what? Kyle Gallagher.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I knew there was
And then,
somebody
I
in
mean-
there. That's familiar.
I love him.
My man.
And the
Walking
girl,
Dead,
the
dude.
girl that plays the blonde is she's pretty popular. I know. Like she went on to do a bunch of stuff too.
Yeah, that's the one.
But here we go. All right, you've got Jackie Earl Haley as Freddy. Rooney Mara is Nancy.
Rooney
You have
Mara,
Warner,
the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Katie Cassidy. It also had Thomas Decker. I don't know who that is. And Kellen Lutz, although not for very long.
Yeah, I know him. He's
Connie Brighton.
name
She's
sounds.
from she's been in a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to think of the other. She was in American Horror Story.
Oh yes, I love her, bro. Yeah,
she's great.
bro.
She
I'm
plays
sorry.
Nancy's mom in this remake that y'all won't give a chance.
I'll watch. I'll
Damn.
I'll give it a shot.
I'll watch it. I'll watch
I mean-
anything as
Listen, if JR, if you watch it, you gotta do
Wi-Fi
a
Chucky.
And Nancy in the
oh, you
tub
know
was-
what? Nancy in the tub was. Wait, hold on. Wait, Nancy in the original film or in this
Well, they
remake?
do it in both. The
Okay,
exact
alright.
same scenes
Right.
in both.
Because in the original, man, that's like a shark coming out of the water looking for his prey.
Y'all, when it comes to Freddy, parents just don't understand. You know
That's
the
a good
song.
comment. I like that comment. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
That's a star one. I love it. Fear gives Freddy his power.
Yep.
Freddy one-liners made him become the evil Spider-Man. With his staff.
Yeah, well, Spider-Man doesn't shut the fuck up, so yeah, I agree with that.
Curse of Chucky was good. See, that was actually one of the ones I didn't.
I didn't see that one. I didn't see that
What
one.
was Curse of Chucky?
I fell off of
The
Chucky.
one with the girl in the wheelchair. Or is
I
that
saw.
Colt?
I didn't see ever since. Which one was it when the kid went to boot camp? He was in the military.
That's the second.
Part 3. I
That's
suppose-
just-
Oh, is that 3 or 2?
I think it's 3, right?
Yes, go Tiffany.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah, you
her.
know, yeah, Tiffany. Yeah.
She
Oh.
was. I'm telling you, like she was made.
Her actress, JR. What's her actress? Come on, JR. Come on. Jennifer Tilly, right?
Jennifer
Oh,
Tilly.
she's so
She was
good.
made for that role.
Yeah,
Like,
she's
she's
awesome.
fantastic.
Awesome.
I literally just got to the part in the show where they introduce her.
Oh, I got. You know what? I got that show on my list. I want to start it. I got it. It's on Shudder, right?
Yeah, it's on Shudder.
Yeah. I want to start it. It's on my list, though.
I just started.
She's an underrated actress. She's a hell of an actress. She's so
She's
underrated.
fantastic. I love her. Yeah.
She's in the new show series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently, I didn't know that.
she's
So that's
Tiffany.
good.
I have not started it yet, so
Tiffany Valentine is in the show.
I'm
I don't know
currently-
what else because, like I said, I'm just starting it out. But yeah,
I'm
I
currently
just got to the
rewatching
part
The
where
Walking Dead.
She's in the
Yeah.
Walking. No, she's not in the Walking Dead. Yeah.
No. I'm saying I'm currently rewatching The Walking Dead,
Oh,
so that's
yeah.
why I haven't been on the other show.
you.
Hey, Angel, come on. I'm here. I don't want to see that face. So rewind.
I'm with her on this one.
Come on, you don't even watch it. You can't even comment.
Walking Dead.
You never watched this, so how can you got no
Dude,
opinion
hold
on
up,
it?
man. Hold up, man. I watched like.
Mind you, he stopped watching when it was at its best, mind you. So
No,
When
and
was that?
now Angel, and mind you, all right, Angel, it's not made for you. You're a found footage person, so you don't count.
I love zombies. I just don't like The Walking Dead.
Now, let me ask you, this is curious. I'm curious. All right, this will be for the. I'll be here forever. So let's just move on, cause I'll be here forever.
We have to wrap up.
I keep forgetting it's not my stream. I'm sorry.
I think I can mute you.
I don't want.
Kidding.
I know.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
I know. It's all
Okay,
love.
so
It's all.
I just want to do these quick comments and then
Yep.
we'll wrap up.
Okay.
A scene I like, and I know I couldn't have done. I definitely would have died when the mom is giving birth in the back of Quiet Place. Yeah.
Quiet Place.
I saw that in theaters when I was pregnant. I'm like 98% sure, and I was like,
One of my biggest
terrible
regrets was not watching that film in the theater.
I've seen that in the theater, and that was one of the rare movies
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the whole audience was so into the film.
no.
Everybody was quiet.
Yeah.
It sucks. I didn't
It
experience
was like that when I went and saw it too. Yeah.
That bathroom scene, every single person reacted, and they was freaking out when the thing was
Oh,
coming.
I didn't watch that film in theater, but the one film that I loved watching in theater was The Mist. When the
I
Christian
never got to
lady
see that in
pack
theaters.
gets killed and slashed, everybody stood up a standing ovation.
Yeah,
But they did.
I loved it. Wait,
Worst.
That was my favorite moment.
that
in
was awesome.
her-
She got that.
She needed it. That was fantastic.
Yes.
And that's good writing. They made her so hateable that when she got killed, you were like,
We were all in it.
yeah.
We all
That's-
wanted to take. Yeah.
Speaking of Walking Dead, Frank Darabont did that film, so
Yep.
So,
that's why half of the Walking Dead cast is in that movie.
Oh.
Daryl.
that makes
No, Daryl's not in that movie.
Oh wait, no, Dale. Dale. That's what I meant.
Dale.
Yeah. My favorite so far, my favorite movie experience is going to see Jaws in IMAX. I had never
I'm
seen
so
Jaws.
jealous. I'm so
That
jealous.
was an annual. They did it on $3 movie.
It's like my
day.
favorite
I
film
paid
of all time.
$3 last year on my birthday to go see Jaws on the
Yes, it was.
IMAX, and it was magnificent. It was so good.
One of the greatest films ever made.
Oh yeah. So Debbie says Karma at its finest. Wait, there we go. There we go.
Karma at its yeah, you know.
Kill the
You ain't
religion
lying.
poet. Yep.
Yes.
All right. Y'all got
that-
any final thoughts on Freddie?
Nope. Freddie, let's just go around the room one time. Go ahead, Angel, you start. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I did it again. I did it again.
Tell if you're doing it to be funny or
No,
not.
I'm not. I'm just not used to being other. I'm not used to being other people's
Okay.
shows.
Let's
wrap
go
up,
around
let's
the
wrap
room.
up.
Rick, let's start with you.
Freddie, what can I say about Freddie? So Freddie, he started off as such a great such a great character. Didn't say much. Didn't know much about his backstory. You knew, he was a child killer, burned, came back, but you don't know his end game.
Yeah.
And the first film was so fucking. It's scary. Even when they drag and she's in the school, she's dreaming. They drag that dead body along the blood trail. Little things like that, man. Like, oh man. And Freddy, when he cuts his fingers and they got the green fucking blood spewing out, like. He don't say much, but it's all in the body language, and that's fucking scary.
Yeah.
And two, like I said, two is unorthodox, but I really like when filmmakers take a chance, and they did it in that film. Dream Warriors, again, my favorite, the most versatile film, most approachable film to watch, most accessible for newer fans coming in. And Dream Master, I'm not gonna lie, it has some good stuff in it. But then they get to Dream Child and down the line, and then you get a lot of faults. But I think it's a franchise that if it wasn't for Robert Englund, it wouldn't stand a chance. He makes the franchise,
Yep.
in my opinion. Because Jason, that's my guy. But anyone that's big and imposing could play Jason. Nobody. And again, as they tried it, but nobody could play
Not sad.
Freddy Krueger. Nobody. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I think Freddy had potential, but in New Line Cinema, they milked it. They milked it to the point where he became comical, a farce. Can't take him seriously, unfortunately, and that's the long and short of it. But as a whole, though, he is an icon to horror. Without Freddy,
Absolutely.
without Wes Craven, without
Mhm.
Robert Englund, I mean, that's if you're gonna the top three: Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy. I'm never gonna say anyone's wrong by picking Freddy as number one
Yeah.
because he deserves the top spot because he's an icon. So yeah, man, more. Yeah, unfortunately, he retired, and I don't think we're gonna get no more Robert Englund. And they do it, Freddy. They could do it. They gotta pick the right guy. I'm not opposed to them doing it, but don't at least make him look like Freddy, and don't try and make it too dark for the sense of being dark.
Mhm.
Embrace what Freddy Krueger is. He's a go to Dream Warriors and just like analyze that film if you want to get it right. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it.
Yeah. All right, Lexi. Final thoughts on your favorite?
And I'm a diehard Freddy. We married. I'm Fredita. I'm Team Freddy. Like, I mean, what can you say about Robert Englund? He is the original. You can't go wrong with him. I don't care about the guy that did Freddy after him. I just don't. I didn't care for the remakes. I didn't care for Freddy versus Jason. I didn't care for a remake of Freddy versus Jason. I am just a diehard. Maybe it's more so I'm diehard for Robert Englund.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you say?
Nothing wrong with that. He's
A
an
lot of
icon.
people. A lot of people feel that way. You're not alone.
Right.
A lot of
I
people feel
mean,
that way.
there's, you know, good, the bad, the ugly of the whole series as a franchise. But if I had to point anything out, is Dream Warriors number one. I mean,
Docking to the music dream.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I love 80s cheese.
right. But like, also, it's more of a storyline than out of all of them. It's more of
Yes.
a storyline. I mean, you have reality versus. I mean, because like Freddy Krueger jumps in and out of reality, right? But then you have the teens that are tortured that are living a reality of, I actually have a nightmare. I'm suffering from what? Sleep apnea, or I'm suffering from narcolepsy. I'm suffering from nightmares, night terrors, sleep paralysis, and like,
Wow, man. Woo,
yeah,
that's
like,
that's scary.
This is sleep tech talking, okay?
I got that shit like 3 times in my life, so I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
Well, me too. And like, it's a scary fucking situation. You actually, I mean, that's why I love Freddy, is because, and I'm so passionate for him because he plays out what we actually dream about in real life. Like, again, I've had night terrors, sleep paralysis, and the fact that these actually scare you in real life, and the fact that Dream Warriors, and I keep referring to that because they play it more realistically. They're in a mental facility or whatever facility that they're in because they're suffering some type of sleep situation. And really, and I'm so glad they brought Nancy Thompson back in for that one specifically, because she points out the fact, like, and can I point out, I forget the guy that like she was kind of infatuated with in that one, that her love interest in that movie. He stayed next to her side throughout that whole film. Like, man, I think you're a little nudie, you know, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I feel, I'm gonna play out this situation. I'm gonna put what was his name? The love interest.
He was a doctor too.
He was the doctor.
I can't remember his name either.
Facility. And I just love the fact that they fought together to get down to helping these teenagers suffering realistic situations, apnea, terrors, paralysis, narcolepsy. And I love the fact you can't escape Freddy. The exact reasons Joe hates him, I love him for, is the fact that he's in and out of your sleep. So that's my final thoughts on Freddy.
Joe.
See you for Jason. Freddy versus Jason on the 27th.
All right, JR, your thoughts are your last minute, your final
All right.
thoughts.
Hopefully the people that are doing the Fred heads don't kill me for this, but you too, Lexi.
I'm watching.
The 70s and 80s gave us the four icons for horror.
Yeah.
They gave us Leatherface. They gave us Michael Myers. They gave us Jason. They gave us Freddy. out of those four, Freddy had the most potential to have a long-lasting, good franchise if written correctly.
I agree.
It's kind of ironic. Out of the four, he's the only one that cannot sustain a movie to this day. You've had Halloween movies that come out, even though they suck, the three of them. But people were still fascinated with those three movies with the Michael Myers character. You have the Leatherface movie that came out, which people were like, about, but people were still interested to see what they did with Leatherface.
Yes.
Jason is one. The remake they did with him recently, a couple years ago. I enjoyed that movie. I thought it
That was a long. Bro,
That
that
was
was,
like
hold on.
That was
That was a
not-
decade ago, bro.
That was not a couple
I'm
years.
saying,
That was like a decade
I'm
ago.
saying, even that one was good though.
I loved it. I loved it.
that
I
one
loved
was
it.
good
Mhm.
because it felt kind of fresh the way they did.
I
Jason.
love that. I love that film.
For me, the reason I have a hard time with Freddy Krueger is after the third movie, the rest of the franchise is trash. That's the way
I
I see
agree.
it. The rest of it is trash.
And what's not trash?
Well, after
Jason.
four.
No, yeah, and the thing was Jason. We know what you get with Jason. Jason and Freddy are the same because the whole concept of their films are
So,
the creative kills.
JR, real quick.
Yeah.
You said the first three Freddys and it fell off.
Yes.
For me, Friday the 13th has like 10 movies, let's say.
Right.
To me, it fell off. To me, after 8 was New York, right?
Right.
That's when it started to fall off. That's 8 fucking movies. People don't give Friday the 13th credit. I'm
I've
telling
only
you.
seen the first one.
That's it. Oh, Angel, next time you do one of these, invite me.
Yes.
Watch.
I will come.
Trust me. 1, 2,
I
3.
gotta have to
Listen.
be able to find them all.
Friday the 13th. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Isn't
5,
that
6,
what
7.
we're doing on the
They're
27th?
they're fucking great. They're all fucking good. And then, all right, once you get to Manhattan.
Not the whole movie, not all of them, right? I thought it was just
No,
the first one.
I don't know.
Wait,
We
what?
got
What?
to go on that one
On the
The first one, what?
27th.
about the camping.
Joe messaged me and just said,
No. The live stream is gonna be camping movies. Sleepaway Camp, Friday the 13th. You know,
in
anything.
general.
Yeah. Anything general, not just Friday the 13th. No. We're not doing that.
Good, because I'm not prepared.
No. Anything that has to do with slasher, camping, stuff like that. So.
Okay.
But anyway, go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry, go ahead, Joe.
No, but that's what,
You're making a good point. That's why I want to.
because every Jason movie, you knew you what you were expecting.
Yep.
No storyline, kills. No
Yep.
storyline, kills. Once in a while, they threw a good twist at the storylines, especially was it Corey?
Corey
Feldman.
Feldman. Yeah.
It's a good one, underrated movie, but
One of my
They were-
favorite ones, bro.
they were willing to take different chances with every movie. Same thing with Leatherface. I mean, who didn't love the Leatherface of Jessica Biel? I'm sorry, that movie was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Freddy could never live up to that.
Because Robert Englund is Freddy.
Right,
You
but the
can't
dr-
do it. It's hard to do
The
without him.
Dream Warriors was one of the best Freddy films. It was also so good that it ruined the rest of the movies afterwards. And that's the biggest problem I have.
You know why? Yeah, you're right. Because what they did was, oh my God, people love Freddy joking around. Let's just double down on it and
Let's
just
make it more.
yeah.
Well, and Nightmare on Elm Street is also one of the only ones that people are die hard about not wanting any more of. They seem like people seem to, in general, be more receptive to the idea of something else with Halloween, even after Ends. Something else with.
I'm done with that
Leatherface, even
franchise.
after like from last year.
I'm done with Halloween.
And even Friday the 13th, it's the same thing. Like people are open to those, but when you bring up another, I almost said Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, people are like, and that's like the end of the discussion.
But Freddy talks too. Like
Yes.
Jason is
Freddy's
with a knife,
yes.
and Myers is with a
Which
knife.
means
It's
that
like
there's
but
more room
Freddy
for
actually,
issues, actually.
The only one that actually has
he really
personality.
interacts with you.
But when he
That's
talks
what
too much,
That's what I was
kills
going to
the movie.
say. That adds
Yep.
a good level of complexity, but
Yep.
it also makes it easy to fuck up.
1000%. Because
I
if you watch
agree.
the first film, if you notice the first film, they really
Very
linger
good.
on his face at all. You don't really see his face, but real quick, and they show him like it is a silhouette. But yeah. But once Freddy's is always there, you see him all the time. The makeup varies between good and bad. So man, it's
Yeah. Well, I think as for me, the only thing I would really say is some of these things in these films as a first watch have held up so well because of the way they were handled when they were made. Even the not so great ones. I don't think it's as a consistent franchise as like I don't know, another one that I really love. But I will say that I think this one was one that there's still something enjoyable about most of them when you watch them, even if they weren't great. So I'm grateful that I watched them all, and I probably wouldn't have if we weren't doing this. So,
Good show. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
I
so
mean,
I'm glad you guys were able to do this. Thank you for coming in.
thank you for inviting us. Yeah.
I was not gonna miss Freddy Krueger.
Joe is a big Freddy fan
I was
too.
supposed to work tonight, and I said, "Sorry, boss lady, I gotta, do Freddy Krueger night."
This is important. Yeah.
It's worth not watching patients while they sleep. Yep.
Leslie's in such a good mood at the end of the.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, do I talk about Freddy with you guys, or do I watch him and not kill him in their sleep? So
Fair enough.
yeah, nope. I'd rather be here. I couldn't miss Freddy Krueger night. I mean, this is my guy. Like I said, he's in and out of reality. That's the reason why I like him. You can't get the interaction with Jason or the interaction with Michael Myers or Leatherface. You don't get that talking to.
You're
with
right.
Freddy, you get that smart ass.
Good show. The last thing I will say is Freddy, his advantage over Jason, Michael, Leatherface, Pinhead, even personality.
You're right.
Personality. He's got so much room to like play with personality and dialogue and just his mannerisms. The other guys don't have that, unfortunately, and he does. And Robert Englund again, the master. He owns his role. He is Freddy Krueger. So,
yeah. Well, I think that probably wraps it up for this franchise live. I'm on Elm Street. Once again, Horrorfiend TV, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Descriptions to find them everywhere, including their YouTube channel, is in the description for this episode. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. Have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy your week coming up. And we'll see you at the next one. And Rick, what is it? What do they have to do?
Stay